What's up? Oh my golly, I am so sorry about this. This mic's gonna be horrible. I just have to check if it's pointed the right way. It is. There we go. Sorry. I'm so sorry. There we go. Okay, it's back. Jeez Louise. Okay, that's good. That's good. Let's make this full screen. I have the feeling that I missed something, which is always just such a good thing before you start streaming. You're like, yeah, I feel like something's off. Like I'm missing a specific thing, but hey, it's I didn't pause the playback, so my PC's not unnecessarily getting taxed. Let's pause that. Boom, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like I'm getting pulled in a bunch of directions, which is good thing, but by God, there's just so many things. Wrong goddamn click. Damn it. Wrong thing. There. Also, is that too bright? It looked like a little bright a little bit. Ladies and gents, how is your Saturday going? Hopefully it's pretty good. Ladies and gentlemen, wrong, but I got there. Oh, I forgot to set it on, god damn it. I forgot to set it to low latency. Gah! Shit. Oh. It sucks because I can't do it easily. If it was on Twitch, I could just end the stream and then start up again. Would be good. But with YouTube, you have to set, like, hey, this stream is going to be this, which is cool because you can add, like, a thumbnail to it. But, dude, Sag. Anyways, regardless, I feel like I'm getting pulled apart a little bit here, ladies and gentlemen. I am enjoying the shit out of Destiny, the crafting, the weapons. I feel the urge to play it, to grind it on the side, things like that. But then, I also am looking at Withering Waves, and I'm like, dude, this morning I was like, I'm going to do just like an hour of research and just not research, it's more just like watch and find videos. But I went and I started watching the creator that Lone sent me beforehand, which was like this dude who, he does this in his thumbnail, or in his profile pic. Regardless, lots of good information about the game there, but, and this is a pretty big but, latency is around 6 to 7 seconds. Yeah, I know. If it was, I think ultra or low latency is much more manageable. I think low latency is about probably maybe about that 8 seconds, I would say, and then ultra low is probably like you're saying 4 or 5 seconds. But it's something about that. But anyways, we can't ever get into ultra low latency because we're technically encoding at 2K, which is not the case though. We're recording at 10K, but it's only because in order to get the processor that actually is good, we have to record in that playing in the downscale, so it's not actually like that much. But anyways, point is, what do you call it? Lone, I did a bunch. Lone, bless your sweet heart, my boy. I was wondering, we were talking about Withering Waves last weekend, and I was like, I noticed Lone like kind of started like quieting up a little bit. Like you stopped, like you were going, and then you kind of slowed down a little bit when I was rambling, and I was like, oh, it's because I was saying stuff that Lone was probably like, I don't think that's right. I don't think, and I was just saying so many things that were not exactly correct that I'm sure you're like, what the hell do I correct? But the first thing that you did mention, I do remember this, is you did say that there's a misconception with Withering Waves where people are saying that, like, it is true that basically every single time you wish on a character banner, you get a currency, and then that currency can actually buy you a copy of that 5-star character so long as you have one character. So the idea is oh, well, shit, if I only had, then the only goal for like a low spender is just to attain the character, and then over time, I might be able to buy another copy of them just through the store without having to, like, spend more money on polls or doing the RNGification of it all. But the reality, also, this is my time at Sandrock, looks very cute. I like the gameplay in the background. We might switch to Withering Waves at some point. Or even the Assassin's Creed thing. I probably should put that there. Anyway, but this actually, I like having this in the background. Anyways, yeah. So, by the way, it's not like that. In Withering Waves, a person said that it took him 700 pulls just to be able to afford 2 copies of a copy of a character. Also, you can only ever buy 2 copies at probably like an interval of a month, and then you're like on cooldown for a long time. So even if you were trying to, in some weird way, and they could make this less bad, where they could do an event where they give you this currency that lets you buy a duplicate copy of the said character. That's possible. So there is like a shred of hope in that system actually being used by people who are not just like massive spenders, who are just kind of getting a little bit of a boon. If you're already spending $1,000 on the game, why not give them everything else? Because Jesus. But also I misunderstood the other thing, which was like the what was it? It was the character banner. I was under the misconception that, it's, of course, it's not just everything's the same wish. So there's like the standard banner, which is your standard banner wishes, and then you have your ultra wishes, which is like those once every month there's a new character kind of thing. So they're separated essentially. So I was like, oh, that's what that meant. So I was like, okay, so no, you need to basically double back, or like I couldn't reroll, because the reroll, like the first 30 wishes you get are basically for the standard banner, not this unique banner. So that kind of makes sense. But I do still think I got a lot of stuff to talk alone about, because I'm trying to think through, like, I want to have my way and have it fun, while simultaneously not like crippling my account, because I don't have the time to like grind out every meticulous thing. Like I only have probably a couple hours every day to grind. Like back in COVID times, we could play like a ton more games. I can't do that as much now, especially doing also all this research and stuff that I always do now. But anyways, which honestly doesn't pan out sometimes. I'll rant at you guys about that. I'll rant at you guys about that probably this stream at some point, just because I need to get off my chest, because it's just like, man, this is one of those times when you're working really hard, nothing's really working, you know. But hey, things be like that sometimes. Red says latency was 20 seconds yesterday. Yeah, it could be that. Oh, is that? Yeah, you can see that in stats for nerds, I think. So maybe that's where you're finding that. Red says, so about this MTAS video, it is, my time is Sandra video. It's a teaser for an upcoming Pokemon update. Oh fuck, they're coming for Power World. Do it. Take or not Power, they're taking from Pokemon, but still, I think Power World like really like kind of was like, you can get away with this, and everyone's just like, really? Really? Okay. Sure. You know, but I'm happy. I love the Power World formula of gameplay, and I want to get back into that game. I just, man, it's just, I don't even know. I'm kind of lost when it comes to like content creation right now. When it comes to outside of anything outside of VR. VR, I kind of know, because I just love so much that I want to make something in it, but I very much feel lost in that way. Like, I don't know if I should make Destiny videos. I don't really kind of feel like I should. Withering Wave videos, I feel like I might, but I feel like so many people are going to jump on Withering Waves to where it's just going to be like a tsunami of like getting smothered. But I don't know. A little lost, but hey, you be lost sometimes. As long as you don't give up, I think you're good. Red says, so about the Sandrock update. Update is DLC. I'm very excited for it. It looks cool. It looks awesome. I will say they look a little chibi-like, which is very neat. I wonder. No, they look more. Yeah, it looks more. Actually, whoa, never mind. There's a fucking jacked like. There's a jacked like. What was a kangaroo? That would look crazy. What's good, Midnight? Midnight says, hello, Grim. Big fan of your Let It Die content. I recently beat the 40th floor. Let's go! And actually made it to Tengaku with the help of your videos, and just wanted to say thank you. No, you got that, man. That was all you. Appreciate it. I don't really play too much Let It Die anymore, so I'm sorry if it's disappointing, but what do you call it? I'm happy I was able to offer any help in any way, and that was all you, buddy. I appreciate you for giving me any sort of credit. I've long kind of put that game a little bit in the past. Not that I don't love it and like hold reverence for it, but it's just kind of one of those things where I covered it for so long and there was no updates, and it kind of crushes me a little bit that like I supported the game or I tried to support the game and the community as much as I could when there was nothing. And I always kind of fought for like updates that were kind of in the interest, I think, of a lot of people. And then nothing, essentially. We're just left like ghost silent. And now finally, when I've like completely stepped away and have kind of embraced VR as my new like kind of love for gaming, they started updating the game again, and it kind of just makes me be like, oh well, I don't want to feel slighted, because it's not that I'm just nobody. I'm a nobody Canadian in the middle of nowhere kind of thing. But at the same time, it is kind of one of those things where you're like, that's real fucky timing, isn't it? Isn't it, developers? Well, yeah, you know, I probably will make a video on the new Let It Die game when it's out. Probably not when it's there's like a news about it, but it's only one screenshot, so I don't really feel like it's enough to make a video about it. And even still, I don't want to keep like egging on the Let It Die community, thinking that I'm half in, half out. I don't feel like that's fair for them. So it's tough. But yeah, I'm happy you enjoyed the series. It's just always one of those things where I reminisce about Let It Die, because it's just a weird knot in my heart. But anyways, Lone says you could potentially still re-roll Yeah. No. So my the plan right now, from what I've seen from that, I watched one of the videos you gave me, the new videos you gave me, where it's talking about how we're getting like a free weapon choice, which that goes pretty hard. I think they're really trying to capitalize on like the what do you call it, Genshin people. My only like, if I'm looking at this as a strategy loan, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a part of the developer's strategy to kind of quote unquote claim some of the Genshin players by essentially, how do I phrase this properly? By basically being like, okay, we're gonna give these people, the new people coming into this game, a ton of gear, and like give them a bunch of free stuff, and they'll be like, oh my god, look how much more like generous this game is, guys. It's so much more generous than Genshin, and it's very similar. Go play this game instead. And then I could see them being like, okay, well, now that we've captured because we don't really need all the market, we just need a part of the market. And as soon as we have a part of the market, then we can kind of go back to kind of juicing everything out of them, which I hope that's not the case. Again, I still want to have hope that that's the case. And again, there is still hope that those mechanics for like getting duplicate copies of of 5 stars are like can be given through like awards, like events. They can give like that coral currency, which helps you buy a copy of a character, which is huge. But what do you call it? I did see. So my plan right now alone is to basically spend the first day re-rolling until I can get either. This is the issue. So I want to come out of there with 2 5 stars, which you'll basically, well, not really 2. I can't guarantee. I just need to get the first 5 star. I need to get through the standard banner, just wishing without doing the 5 pull. Because that's what people were saying was like, if you're gonna re-roll, you should re-roll on the standard banner. That's not the special standard banner. The standard banner is basically just you're gonna wish until you get a 5 star within your first 30 pulls, which can be a little rough because but if it's a 5 star you want, then awesome. If you want, I want 2 5 stars is my issue. So for me, I'd have to wish on that standard banner and re-roll until I get one of the 2 5 stars that I want, and then I would have to go and then just play normally, and then I would just get a standard banner wishes, and then I'd wish on the special standard banner, not the unique standard banner that has like a specific character to it, but there's oh, you're playing the game within the first month, here's a special banner kind of one, which gives you a chance to pick between all of the 5 stars that exist outside of in the standard banner, I should say. So the issue I'm having alone, which I want to kind of duke it out with you in this stream, is what characters I should get. So I watched a lot of videos, I watched a lot of tier lists, I watched more gameplay of it, and I kind of feel out a lot of the stuff. And people say that like the best pick for day 1 Withering Waves, if you're gonna re-roll, if you're even gonna not even re-roll, but if you're just gonna like if you're going out of one of the 5 characters that you could get, because most likely if you're re-rolling, you're gonna aim for 2 5 stars. If one of those can be the healer, essentially, like the Dendro healer, essentially, the reason why she's so good is because she gives you a static like 20% damage, which is going to be like good regardless of whatever build you go with. She's also a healer that can heal quickly, very quickly, and also this is the main thing. She is one of the few characters that will basically give you a second try. So when you die or take enough damage, she'll keep you alive, which in other games this wouldn't matter, but in Withering Waves this is extremely important. Also, what's good, Lycanthrope? It's been a minute. Hi, Lycanthrope. Thank you for the hydrate. I was needing a little pick-me-up. But yes, so that's why she's so cracked, and I think that makes sense. It just makes, like, if you're going to play this game and you're not wanting to suffer, you being able to heal seems relatively important early game, and then you having a free 1-hit reset, essentially. That's going to be invaluable, and then just a 20% attack. I've seen a lot of like the attack scaling stuff, and there's not a lot that's like 20% for 25 seconds, just by switching to her, I think, which seems cracked. But so anyways, that one, I think, like, that one's should be what I probably aim for to pick within the definitely secure this character banner, whatever it is. But if I happen to get her in the normal banner, then I can just pick whichever the 5-star that I want. So I think I'm going to lock in her. I think I'm going to get her, even though people are making arguments for, like, yeah, healers get aged out extremely quickly in games like this. Probably just go with whatever you want. But my argument there is, if I'm already planning on re-rolling, then I think I'm already going to be kind of okay, because I can ensure that I get her as well as another 5-star, you know? Does that make sense? So I'm like, I can not only have safety, but I can also pick what I want. But then this is the question. what do I want? And that's tricky. Because there's only 2 characters I really want. One of them, unfortunately, is a 4-star. So actually, it's like weirder in that way. I may not be able to get him. Also, Lycanthrope says, what's happening with all the games these days? Also, all the games coming out, all I mean are pay to win. Did you see the new Let It Die Stew stream? Picture with the new... I did see the new game, Lycanthrope. It looks cool, man. I like the fact that we're finally seeing the sun, and it looks more like punk rock rather than like punk grit, I guess, you know? Outside of that, yeah, what do you call it? It's, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I want to see more. It looks like good Let It Die. It looks like what most people wanted from Let It Die. It's interesting when the developers throw out stuff like they say in that video, where they basically were saying that it's like the crossroads between Let It Die. Like if this was going to be a game, it would be Let It Die 3 or 4, not Let It Die 2. Let It Die 2 would be a PvE expansion. Let It Die 3 would be maybe a PvP expansion. And then this is going to be kind of Let It Die 4, which is a consolidation of both of them, which is bold, to say the least. Yeah, but yeah, we'll see. Anyways. But it looked neat. Again, it's weird because I'm not like... I love Let It Die, but I'm not in it as much as I was. But I'm still excited, you know? Still reroll just now. You want to shot limited banner and reroll could take... Yeah, I also have to like make a build without the like main character, which is kind of fine. I would be fine for like my main standard banner character to be the goat dude, like the crimson goat guy. Red says, Powered is great, but I'm waiting for the update to put the meat in the bones. The foundations are fantastic. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not sure if you're in the same boat as me, but I would much rather Power to really cook. Like, really just grind out all the depth and all. Because Power is honestly already, like, to me, a crazy game. Like it's my ideal game as far as like I'd rather the game take a hit on like stylization and art and like quality of the visuals, and then make up for it tenfold within the gameplay loop and mechanics and depth of mechanics and stuff like that. And yes, if I could play one game for a long time, it'd be a mixture of Destiny or that right now. That's just because I'm really enjoying Destiny, frankly, right now. Taking up my mind a little bit. Yeah, you can pretty much capture and train every creature in this Pokemon update. Oh wow, everything? Dang, that's awesome. It's funny because that system, I always assumed stuff like that would be way harder to put. I remember I was talking to Nub about this a long time ago, when I was like, why aren't games doing, you know, this kind of stuff? And Nub always was like, and this is a fair argument, but he was like, this is much more time consuming than you might think. Like this is costs so much to do. But the more I look at it, the more I'm like, I don't know if it's that. I don't know if that's right. I don't know if that's actually true. Because yeah, I agree. Gameplay over gameplay over graphics. I agree. Power World, I don't know. For me, it's still really under. Really? Yeah. See, that's crazy to me, Mo, man. Like to me, like there's legendary farming that you can do. There's dungeon farming that you can do. You can craft like the ultimate pal. So there's just like fucking. The only thing I would like for Power World is I would like to have greater build depth. So like I would love to have more depth within each individual Pokemon, and also more depth into what I would want to build my character out in. You know, like I would love to, maybe if you want to be like a gunner, I want to make a gunner build without just like saying like, oh, I guess you increase your gun stats. You know, like that's kind of lame. It's not very like build centered. So that's the only thing I'd want for more depth. But as far as like there's so much stuff to do in that game, I didn't even consume probably like 50% of it. And I love that. I love the stuff like that. I will say I am waiting for them to make that creation kit for modders. Like even Ark Survival Evolved, I think had some sort of like makeup for that, because I have noticed that the mods for Power World are good, but they're not as crazy as Ark Survival Evolved. And I hope they can get them to that point, because I think that's when fucking everything will just like come undone, is if they were able to like really grease the wheels big time with modders having easier access to do stuff with that. Because I think the game visually to me is fine. The game system wise is pretty fine too. Arguably people want more like objectives like quests and stuff like that, but I also think that's possible for developers to add like a little update where it's like, hey, there's a quest in the game now, and then for modders to be like, oh, we'll make that much better, you know, we'll give you like crazier things to do, and we'll spend like 5 months on one quest, whereas the developers like, I can't, we're trying to build systems, you know. Also, Lone says Vernon is the only character that can revive previous and 20% attack buff. Yeah, she seems crazy. It's funny. I haven't finished watching the video from that one guy, but he was saying that she also attacks fast. I think it just means her rotation is fast, so that you don't have to spend so much time vulnerable, essentially switching characters. So if I lay it out, you want Alto the gunman and Encore the small D. You knew it. Yeah, you knew exactly what it was. Now if you get Alto, he is a sub DPS Arno buff, and Encore is the DPS. Well, the issue is, Lone, is that like, so there's that. So to me, the hope would be to get the healer girl, and then the other thing would be like, okay, I want the healer girl and the stag. Those are my two things I really want. I always call her stag, but she's like the little fish, fucking lolly something, goat lolly person. Anyway, point is, I want those two. The thing that sucks is I'm kind of creating like a preschool team. I hate it. I just like the moveset of the demon girl so much. I hope badly that there's like some sort of like dark buffer essentially that comes out eventually, because I love the way she looks. And if I am planning possibly on getting like the demon goat dude, the red goth emo looking bro, he looks like he'd be like that same void elemental, and I wonder if they'd be a good DPS couple to go with, but I don't know. But that's the kind of the plan. But then in my head, I'm like, okay, well, what weapon do I go with? Like, do I go with... people talk about, like, crazy how the sword is so goated. Like, the legendary 5-star sword that we're going to... By the way, that's the other thing that's pretty crazy about the game. They're giving us a free 5-star weapon to pick from. Like, we can just pick from whatever 5-star weapon we want. I think we have to get to, like, level 35, which is still probably a pretty big hoof to get there. But still, that's awesome that we get a free 5-star weapon. Wild. And apparently, what do you call it? One of the characters is... The 5-star blade is the best, but I'm also like, but I really like the one dude is the DPS. I really like the gunner, the wind gunner guy, and I've seen some gameplay. He can pump out some like pretty substantial numbers, it seems like. And I love, so my whole thing is like, well, I'm not really betting on an element, which is tricky. But apparently that's not actually that bad, because your artifacts are more tied to seemingly the individual who you are and the artifacts that you have, rather than in Genshin it there being like some sort of like 2 animo characters gave you a passive buff. I don't know if this game has that, which is actually kind of nice, because it makes you feel like you don't have to play into an element as much. You just need to make sure your character is optimal for the effect or damage that you're dealing, I guess. And arguably there could be supports that buff like specifically animo damage for every other party member, but that's not quite yet in the game, so yeah. Enshrouded though looks better and more well gathered and better direction. Lycanthrope, if it has the PAL, like the summoning, the like skeletons or like the Pokemon value, then yes. Otherwise, I don't even think it's in the remotely the same comparison. Like Palworld is not trying to be Valheim or anything else. It's trying to be, or Dark Souls. It's trying to be like fucking Pokemon, you know. So yeah. So it's a weird comparison to me, but I mean, unless Encore or Enshrouded, sorry, unless Enshrouded also has like summoning of kinds, and like you can build up a whole team and stuff like that, then yeah. Let me see. What was Lone saying? If you get Alto, do you want to recommend? Would recommend you get Giant the Dragon guy, although. If you get Verena... See, this is the issue, Lone. This is the whole goddamn problem, man. Is that. Or, like, if I like these 3 characters, then I better get these other 2 characters that are DPSs that are a part of their same elemental chain and stuff. And I'm like, well, fuck, man. I don't know what... It just becomes infinitely more complicated. Sadly, the latter seems to be focused on too many games. Focus on for many games. To be focused for many games. Sorry. Graphics seems to be the focus for many games. Yeah, I know what you mean. Ray tracing and all that BS. Yeah, I don't really care much about that either. Grant, ray tracing, reflections seem to have like more simple, better, stable water. Yeah. There's definitely things that you want to. No one would say no to graphics, but it's not the thing that I think makes the experience. You know. Screen space, reflections, which is the more. What most games use, the varying noticeable image stability problem. Oh, I see. Lone says, level 45, get to the 5. Yeah, see. Ooh. Actually, level 45 maybe is not as bad. I thought it was like reputation level 5 or 2045, but yeah. Lone says the 5-star weapon is the best sword for any sword character in the game. The games are also the best guns. Yeah, the guns. See, the guns is what I was like, I wanted to go get. Like, if I could choose, I'd probably pick the guns because I want to get the wind guy. But what if I don't get the wind guy? So we'll probably have to make it up as we go along. The issue is that like with the characters in this game, it's so complicated where like you're like, these are the 3 characters I like. It's hilarious that they don't contribute to each other at all, like except for the support lady. So you're kind of like, but I'm also kind of like, I don't know, what if I really hate wind and I'm happy I got the dark magic DPS girl? I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. And then, of course, if you have the 5-star melee girl, then she just can carry you, apparently. She's just so good. You're at low health all the time, but it's fine. Like it up says, okay, stop by to see how things are going. I'll put me a little butt to sleep. Put my little butt to sleep, you know what I mean? DK stays there. Yeah, thank you so much for stopping by, Langthrope. Thank you so much. Lone says buff to the next character. Oh, right. Let me see. The 5-star weapon does that. Oh, yeah. So to me, like, yeah, as much as the sword does seem to be, like, amazing, it was, to me, it was like, if I'm going for long-term value, the fact that I can, like, the pistols seem really good. Like, the pistols seem really good, where, like, you can use them and then switch to a character, which I think is exactly the Animo guy's, like, bread and butter. And I love the Animo guy. I love, like, the wind effects in this game look like everything else sucks compared to the wind effects. The wind effects look so fucking crazy. It looks like threads of silk in the air, essentially. Whereas all the dragon and firepower, even the dark essence, it just looks like fire. Like darkness just looks like fire that's black, essentially, or like purple. Like, okay, why? Yeah, that's the other thing, Lone. Maybe like day 1 will come out and people will be like, yeah, shit, guys. Turns out these 2 characters, the ones who are the worst, are actually now the best. And it's just like, whew. Like, I would be shocked if the 4-star character that is such a good DPS doesn't get tweaked a little bit, because it does seem like, I don't know if they're going to love that, or like the 4-star is basically what everyone's going to be using, especially free-to-plays. So yeah. Granted, it is basically like a good skill counter where like if you get hit once, you die with her because she has to be at like 0 health to do damage. But apparently at endgame, that's going to be the case anyway, you know? That's also why that support girl is so good, is because she can just keep you alive by taking 1 hit. It's not only 1 hit, it's only 1 hit, but still. Lone says the sword just provides damage. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So like to me, the most ideal situation, Lone, would I think to be to get to go re-roll until I get either the healing support girl or the stag girl, little teddy bear demon girl, either or, and then hopefully by the sheer volume of me wishing, I'll have just gotten a little bit of the gun guy. I don't need much. I just need a little bit of the gun guy. And then when I reach level 5, I'll get the pistols. And that way I have a good support that keeps me alive and gives me a damage buff. I have a good sub DPS, which is Animo, who gives my main DPS, I guess, which is the girl who's just like fires a bunch of these little teddy bears. I give her more damage as I switch to her. I don't know if that's great because I don't know if she's like a good like main DPS or if she's also part of like the sub DPS category. But that's kind of the plan. The issue that I have is I know in these games elemental stuff is so important, like to do good damage. It's like, okay, you need to stay within your elemental roster, so that's tricky. But that's the goal, that's the hope, and I think it would somewhat sequence because I'd be getting a 25% damage buff by just using that healer in my party, and then I would be using I'd be getting a 25 or 15% attack buff as well from my gunner when I eventually end my secondary DPS chain or swap off of him onto the main gunner girl or like the teddy bear girl. I haven't seen gameplay of her that like talks about where she's strong at, how her playstyle works. Like, maybe it'll tell me that like, no, Grin, she's a sub DPS. You don't want to play a lot of her. And I'm like, The sword just provides damage, although the damage and whatever sword character you can equip. But yeah. The reason why people are saying that the sword is also really valuable is because the main character can use a sword, and technically, or theoretically, he's really good, from what everyone's been saying. Lone says, easy, Grin. You just wait until you get him, then you select the gun. Yeah, I guess that's true. That's true. Yeah, yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, so you're saying, like, oh yeah, but that's the thing, Lone. It's almost fucked up. But like in Withering Waves, at least for the first month, I'm more concerned about me not getting the right 4-star. You know, like damn. I'm like, well, what happens if I don't get the one guy? what's this gonna be? But that's my plan, Lone. What do you think? I'm not sure. I'm worried you're going to be like, it's not, Grin, your elements are important. Elemental synergy is important. And I'm like, but I basically set myself up to being able to have, like, a character that's a healer that can do some, like, earth stuff, plant matter stuff. And then I have another character that can do dark damage, essentially. And then I got another character that can do wind damage. So, like, whatever I want, maybe, in the future, I could possibly use. Ugh. Lone says, see, Grin, you just wait to think. Lone says, well done, G. Lone, you gotta stop. You gotta stop doing the names. They mean nothing to me. Who is Danji? I don't know who Danji is. It drives me crazy. I'm like, we just talked about. Let me just see. I can infer the rest. I should just trust in my brain. This is what I've done all my childhood. I just read all the sentence and I try to infer what the hell they're talking about. Well, Danji, the 4-star who everyone is hyped for. Okay, the Sword Girl. Sword Girl, gotcha. Sword Girl who does a lot of DPS, low health, got it. I have heard it's getting a nerf, but nothing is concrete. See, that's crazy. That's so fucked up for them to do. I feel like some people are going to be pissed about that because it's like, oh, you want to be free to play? Disgust me. Disgust me. You have to work 5 times harder, you fucking cheap poor. Okay. Fuck. Oh, man. Poor is such a fucking horrible term to throw at people. Lone says, if I remember correctly, Alto is gonna. I assume is that the Alto. Alto, I think might be the Wind Pistol guy. I think that's what maybe his name is. Alto is gonna be a rate up on Yunlin's banner, the Puppet Lady. Damn. Oh well. Is it fucked up, man? Maybe I think I got like 0.15%. What? 15%, I'll say. 15% hipster in me. Because the more somebody... Is this how you feel, Lone? The more people want a character, the more I kind of feel like... Meh, like, people keep calling her mommy. She looks at best like an auntie. Okay, I don't like this weird... Yeah, this, you're messing the term up, okay? This term means a very specific kind of character. Very warm, maternal kind of vibe. Not like an auntie. There's a different vibe, okay? People need to relax. But she looks great, by the way. I'm not saying she didn't, but I see everyone be like, oh my gosh, she's hot. Oh my gosh, she's hot. I was like, she looks nice. I don't know. I'm not trying to tear her down. I just think, like, I'm like, maybe it's because you set the bar way too high for this character design. And I'm like, oh my god. Now, if you activated an ult and then she summoned like deer horn, stag horn like things, then that'd be kind of rad. And give me some Ganyu vibes. It's so long. Thank you, Lone. Lone's starting to do the puppet lady. That's all I need, Lone. Thank you so much. You can just say puppet lady. Encore is the DPS, but her playstyle involves more of set-up playstyles. Ooh, is Encore the stag girl? I think Encore is a stag girl. I think that's what Lone is referring to. Yeah, so that stag girl is probably required. She's similar to the fire gun girl, redhead, basically childhood friend Aura. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Elements aren't really important because there are no reactions. Oh, I guess that makes sense. But it is, like, you definitely could see them coming down the line with, like, this character buffs animo damage. You're like, oh, or, dude, Lone, that's another pet peeve I have, man. What are they doing? What is wrong with them, man? Oh, my fuck. They keep calling it, like, it was already weird when Genshin called it animo. Like, why not just wind fire? Instead, it's like Arno or something. And I just want to headbutt the developers in the fucking face. Just hard as shit. Hurting my own face in the process. Because it's just so stupid. Call it wind. It's so annoying having to learn these, like, Roman numeral fucking ancient language bullshit. It's like, oh, this is fucking Greece for wind. And I'm like, kill me. What are we doing? This is an ancient style game. It's crazy to me. Anyways. Grin, I got you. I said, Lone, we do have to farm. We have to leech off each other worlds for sure. Whenever you're killing them enemies, let me join in. I got you. I say the name then in the description of the game. Thank you so much. I never got the whole. For my plus, I have avoid any content on that. Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you have just devoured everything. Yes, demonic child. That's a great way to phrase it. Yes. Red says, Grin, have you looked into the armor system working in Destiny? How to upgrade them and how the armor mods work? Kind of. I kind of get the baseline of what I've just seen, where it looks like you just. So the armor essentially now works as you have, like, all armor has energy, and you have to, like, invest resources into building up that energy, and then you can slot in certain bonus mods essentially. But I don't know. The stat thing is the thing that throws me for a loop. I was watching a video that was saying that, like, 64 means they have the highest substats in general, but then I don't think it's just substats that people are looking at. So 64 is the total amount of points. I think it just basically means that it has a higher amount of points that it can basically have in there. So you can have a higher yield of discipline, intelligence, stuff like that. But I don't know. Like, sometimes I still see an armor that has, like, all into discipline. Sorry, it has, like, tons of discipline within this one armor, and it also happens to be, like, level 64, which is, I think, a high scaling armor set. So yeah, that stuff is really crazy a little bit to me. And yeah, that's my own, like, surface level stuff. I have seen, like, certain build videos at this point where I've seen, like, a hunter. I seen a really cool glaive build actually that looked crazy. Like, I never thought a hunter could become a tank, but apparently you can. And there was a build where it basically talked about how, like, if in order to have this build work, you need to slot in something in your helmet where you generate, I think it's orbs of light on melee hit or melee kill, and that helps because that helps you gives you special ammo, because that was another perk in one of the things. And I was like, okay, this is starting to kind of build up a lot in depth. But Lone, what are your characters? Now that you've done a little more research, has it changed? Or are you still locked in with your current set characters that you're going to get after? Because to me, I still feel like I started to understand the artifact system a little more with the energy and how that works. But yeah, man. Also, what do you call it? Fluff gave me a fucking warped sense of progression, man. Fluff was saying that he banged out, like, the strand in like in a night, and I was like, God damn it! I think I've dedicated 4 hours, maybe a little bit more over 4 hours, maybe like 5 hours, to grinding strand, just doing public events and goddamn patrols. And by God, man, shit is, I'm like maybe 60% there. So yeah, I'm sure Fluff is playing all day, and he's just like, yeah, I got it out, I banged it out in essentially what would be considered a whole night, like starting at 7 and then going to like 1 a.m. and then yeah, or if I'm just doing something wrong, which I think is maybe the case. I thought there was like a special game mode that you can do that just gives you a shit ton of strand, but I don't know. Oh yeah. Red says legendary armor can have up to 68 total stats, and exotics can have up to 71 or 72 total stats. Not counting the stat mods that you're placing in. Yeah, so it seems like it's all about like getting that high base number as high as possible. But then I also see people talk about, again, it's like I also think there may be a variable of like the armor piece's intrinsic stat. So like I seen one armor that had like a fuck ton of discipline on it, and it also had a high I think it was like 62, which is not the craziest, but it had a decent amount of a scaling. It's not like below 60. And I was like, oh, does that just mean like if I did want to put like in a mod that increases one of my attributes, I wouldn't have to put in discipline because it's basically already taken care of? Is that what it is? Because I don't want 100% know. Total stats, but I think that's probably where I'm getting a weird sense, because I think I haven't put any mods in my armor yet because I'm just grinding. I have a video bookmark that's like the most efficient way to farm good gear, the fastest way to get good gear that I haven't watched yet, and I imagine it's gonna be like, do this special thing. Yeah. Lone says the elements include Arno, wind, electro, lightning, fusion, fire. I hate it. I gotta stop. I'm gonna fucking scream. What the fuck? I haven't given on any of it. Glacial, ice, havoc, dark. I like havoc. Havoc can be replaced by dark. Havoc seems like infinitely a cooler word of saying like destructive power, which is dark power. And then spectral, which is light. It's like havoc to me seems like dark magic, like that anime that came out recently where the guy's like LARPing essentially. But yeah, my brother was telling me that damn show, it's like the overlord of Chunu or whatever it's called, like the LARPing essentially. But yeah, my brother was telling me this. It's like a good sell for the show is he's like, yeah, the main, like, to give you an example, the main character's insane. He's like kind of funny. So like he'll be in the middle of like talking to this guy and like his childhood best friend or something, who's like a kid in his village with him. He's like a young kid. He's getting like beat up by bullies, but then he stands up and he's like, you will not hurt me, or like I won't let you do this to me. I won't give up. And the main character sees that and says, fuck, you're not gonna outdo me on backstory building. So then he gets into like trouble and gets himself beat up, and he's like, while getting the shit kicked out of himself, he's like, this is great character development. This is great. Oh my god, imagine when I'm in the future, I'm gonna look back at this and this is gonna be my turning point. It's gonna be such a good story. I don't think that's exactly what happened. I'm just sure this is just an example my brother was giving me about like the kind of crazy this person is. And I thought, that makes me want to watch the show. That makes me want to watch what is a lunatic. Be like, if I get the shit, I'm worried it will go down a route that's even more fucked up. Like, oh, I love like the main heroine. He'll be like, I gotta get this villain guy to try to, because so then I can have this dark gritty thing. And I'm like, stop, please stop, please stop. Lone says, but back to the topic. Your plan, Grin, sounds solid. You know what you want to get, and thought it through. That's the hope. To be honest, as I was talking to you about it, the more I started to realize it maybe is not completely cursed, but I'm sure it's not perfect. But yeah, the idea, because I was like, man, honestly, it came from a place where I was just really selfish. I was like, I really like the Animo guy, and I love the way Animo looks in this game. I would love if it was like a good Animo DPS that's not like melee based, if it's like a ranged Animo DPS. Of course, that's exactly the gunner guy that I watch, that I enjoy. He's one of the few characters that I actually see like you actually can get a pretty good damage cycle in there with, where some of the other characters don't look like there's a big enough opening. But anyways, but then I was like, oh, I don't really want to get the main sword, even though I know that like the critical scaling sword is good. And then you mentioned, and I remember I seen that too, where the pistols had like a pretty good like overall support ability, where like you swap to another character and then you just have like more damage on. They do more damage, which is great. So I was like, oh, okay, that could be kind of work. And then I was like, oh, but if I also have the one lady, then I actually could stack up and make a decent amount of damage boost just by itself. Granted, we are going to have a really weird-looking team of 2 children with 1 dude in sunglasses, which looks mega creepy. But hey, it is what it is. Although the only one I am worried about is the demon girl, because it's tricky. Yeah, and maybe no, I don't know. Yeah, it's tricky. I don't know. The melee girl is the only, or not the melee girl, sorry, the demon girl is the only one who I'm not sure is a good pick. Stitch says, I started Baldur's Gate. It is very... Dude, I've heard nothing but people praise the hell out of Baldur's Gate. If it was a third-person game with, like, action shooter stuff, I'd be so locked in. If it was, like, a Skyrim-like game, I'd be so locked in. It's just a weird top-down, like, you get a turn, I get a turn, which kills me a little bit, but to each their own. Lone says, as for my hello grin, my plan hasn't changed. Okay. The character I want are Twok, the big Harada sleepy. Yeah, gotcha. Big lady. I will say she does. I didn't notice beforehand, but man, that's back problems kind of level of Jesus. The yin and the yin and yang lady. Gotcha. And the puppet. Oh, you do. You want the puppet lady too? Oh no, you want the electro puppet. I feel like the one girl is... what is the one girl? Teddy bear opposed to puppet? Must be 2 teddy bears instead of 2 puppets. The demon girl. Huh. That's a good plan. I feel like that team is going to work really well. Especially, the healer lady, the yin and yang lady is the only one I've seen a really good argument for, but apparently she's getting a buff. So you might be like getting meta at that point. Who knows? I'm trying to devalue that character for you. I'm sorry I said that. But yeah. Lone says, however, since Yinlin is the second limited banner character, yeah, you have to wait. You have to be patient. I have to. Is there a spider on my neck? Give me a sec. I never sit on this chair, so I'm 100% sure there's like a spider colony underneath it, and I just every time I sit on it, they're just like malevolent gods. They're like, they'll leave it a couple. Sorry, I should not. You guys can hear any of that. I forgot this mic is so good. You can hear that. I was saying that I'm pretty sure there's like a spider colony underneath this damn chair because I just never sit on it. And every time I lay down on it or sit on it, it's they're just based on the malevolence of these characters or these fucking spiders that they're not just eating me alive. They're like, he'll go away in a couple minutes. Anyways, also Red, these goddamn fucking cars are way too oversized for these people. Everything is oversized for these people. It's like dwarf land. And then there's like grown ass adults, so just like even more odd, you know. Lone says, however, since Yinlin is the second banner limited character, I have to replace. In the meantime, I'll probably be the sword win. Yeah, I seen her yet too. It's funny. There's a girl who looks very similar to the other girl, almost like her sister. She's like the other. She looks very similar to the yin and yang lady, the healer. Lone says, if you want, I've sent a video of Encore. I said, hit me with it. Send it. I hope she doesn't get. You mean like to watch on the stream, like as a gameplay thing, or is this a knowledgeable video? If it's a knowledgeable video, and Encore is the demon girl, maybe, probably. Yeah, send that to me. I'll watch it later. I thought you maybe were sending me gameplay right now to watch, but that's fine too. Red says, I posted a video going over the armor system and how to get triple 100. Ooh, okay, gotcha. It's check my. Okay, gotcha. I'll check it after stream. Thanks so much. Thank you so much. I will check it out in a minute. There's so many things though, man. That's the other thing. It's a little bit overwhelming. Is like I'm good with Withering Waves. I think I will watch a little bit more, just a little bit more, just to have a slightly better understanding. But then, like to me, Destiny's also like encroaching, or like. I really am enjoying the like grinding to try to get this this amazing pistol that I've seen is like fantastic. The like the smart pistol essentially in Destiny. And also as a hunter, I think it's gonna be one of the easiest access builds I can get, because whenever you do a kill, you get a prismatic kill or a strand kill. Sorry, we have a high chance of releasing a tether, essentially like a demon bug essentially that just like wiggles and kills things. There's a decent amount of damage, so it's just a good like overall build. And I love using arrows, and I did get confirmation, by the way, that the that smart pistol is your primary, so it goes in your top slot, so that means I can actually use my new AoE bow as well, so I can still get my bow fun off. The final warning, yeah, that pistol, I'm trying to get that damn pistol. Apparently the whole quest you have to do afterwards, so yeah, that's the thing too. Hopefully it's not too hard, that quest. So that will work with me having like a good close quarters combat thing with AoE, and then I'll have another close quarters combat thing with or no, I'll have a long range thing with that bow that also does AoE splash damage, which is good. And then my I think I want to go with the heavy glaive. I just can't get it. Oh wait, no, I can't. Fuck, no, I can't, because it's an exotic. Shit. I was thinking about that because yeah, man, I did more research on the glaives, by the way, and yeah, I'm not sure if it was just my gameplay, but like they felt super strong, especially in the stream we were doing. Maybe it's because we're playing slightly older content, but like seeing the glaives in like the gameplay footage that I've seen online, it looks rough. Like glaives seem like they suffer from the problem of not having like a really good perks, like perks that just super scale up their damage, or give them some sort of like way to succeed. Like I really hope that I'm not sure if that's going to happen in the new DLC or the new expansion, but I would love to see a glaive that that instead of blocking, you basically hoist up your glaive to throw it like a spear, and then you do like massive damage, but you also deplete your entire staff of that. Also, it would be really awesome to see a kinetic glaive that's like that. So instead of like, we could make it to like special ammo glaives, or basically like god level shields, which are crazy. And they do all this good supportive stuff, but it'd be really nice to see glaives that are like pure damage. So I would love to see like a kinetic glaive that has unlimited ammo, you being able just to like launch a giant spear into someone's head and then just fucking like obliterate them. But maybe there being like some sort of cooldown, like the reload for that is you basically like reaching behind you to pull out like another handful of spears or some shit, whatever it is. Something like that. Or even if it would just work off like the recharge ability, like where like, yes, technically you have unlimited ammo, but it takes a couple seconds for you to like recharge or rebuild your spears. because stuff like that I think would be a really nice add. But that seems to be kind of the like limitation for glaives is, yeah, like it's hard to describe, but it just doesn't seem like they're doing enough outside of just being like they're apparently. I kind of got what people were saying, so I heard like a Dado say that like glaives have a place if you really know what to do with them, and supposedly glaives are like the most unkillable. You can basically become unkillable essentially, because you can just have so much armor, and you can just go to town in that way. So in that way, glaives are basically really overpowered. But that's only for like the specific kind of content, like Grandmaster Nightfalls, which are just like if you get hit once, you're dead. So that's kind of the only like route in which they can really like fucking completely thrive. So yeah. But my point is, back to Destiny, is that there's so many like things that I kind of want. And having too many wands kind of leaves you like scattered a little bit of like, what should I go do first, and maybe I should get this instead of that, and then it becomes messy really quickly. So like one of the things I want is also the that pistol that's like a missile launcher. I would really love to get that. I really want the legendary exotic glaive, because that's a whole build entirely. There's also an exotic hunter armband that's specifically made for glaives, which is amazing. It's a part of a whole ass glaive build which you can have, which looks rad. But apparently, like, exotic farming is not as bad as I remember it being, because you can just do high-level Nightfalls, which it sucks because I think the build that I want to first kind of pull off, which I thought would be like a summoner build, I may change, but the summoner build that I seen will look so awesome. The summoner build is, wait, it's a knowledgeable video. I'll send it after. Gotcha. Yeah, for the one thing. Yeah, what do you call it, man? The video I seen about the glaive looks so good. It basically gives you like unlimited overshield armor, and just like you look like you can tank everything in the game. You'll never die. Sorry, it just looks really cool. But I'm also like, but wait, you guys told me about this dope as hell other thing. This like summoner build that you could do with like pixies or something. I think it's like one of the you get like a bug arm, and like it summons like little tiny pixies that can either heal your allies or kill your friends. I just don't know what that scales off of. I don't know if it's like if you do void damage, then it procs. I don't know what procs that thing. Today's Lost Sector is for exotic chest armor. Is there any good exotic chest armor for hunters? Red? I don't know. Super fun pistol and very... Yeah, dude, I was blown away. I watched a person do like a damage number showcase, and it was shocking that thing did like so much damage in comparison to everything else. So like, yeah. Poof, wild. I wish we could just use as much exotics as we want. Yeah, it's a little bit annoying having to do. I feel like at this point that would have been surprised if there wasn't some sort of like way to like hyper commit to an exotic. Like when you complete, you can either buy it for like a ton of a currency that you get from doing Nightfalls every week or strikes, and then you get like a special. Because I do like the idea of there being like very specialness to your exotic. Like your exotic almost is intrinsic to your build. Otherwise, you just have like every weapon would be basically your exotic weapon. So I do get why there's only one exotic, is because it gives a lot of value to the legendaries. So that the legendaries, like, to me, it's really cool that when I was playing Destiny, there was no such thing as a legendary that was better than an exotic, really. I mean, there was kind of, but just not like that had the same shock and awe that other weapons have. I've seen numerous weapons that exceed I've seen numerous legendary weapons that exceed exotic weapons. Like the bow that we're crafting, that's an exotic weapon. You shoot and you just eviscerate an entire area, completely eats people alive with the fire dot that it releases. Just crazy. Awesome too. So that to me seems like wildly OP in a way. And then the smart pistol that I've seen, or not the smart pistol, sorry, the missile launcher pistol that I've seen also looks crazy. Like crazy AoE, does tons of damage, just wild. I wish we could do that. Yeah, our glaives that can't melee, is it so it does not replace your abilities, but in return does more projectile damage, or vice versa. Yeah, that's tough, man, because I really do like the melee ability. Yeah, I think it's also like it's one of the damn it, I can't see the problem a little bit. Huh. Yeah, I kind of see the problem a little bit. I was about to say, well, why don't we just change the melee to being the trigger action, and then change that. Then all you'd have to do is hold LT. You know, that would no, it's tough. I'm trying to like mess around with the buttons to see if you could get it to work. But like, yeah, if you could do like, it basically would change to like the same way Borderlands did it with Krieg, Or like your melee stab would just be hitting the trigger, and then if you wanted to throw a ranged projectile, you would just aim. You would aim down the sights, and instead of putting up a shield, you would put up crosshair, and then you could shoot, and then you could still have your melee. The issue with that is though that like it's still nice to have. Yeah, it's still nice to have like the shot. So like right now we have a melee, a shield, and a shot. And yeah, I really do like the melee. I just don't like the fact that you have to lose your actual melee. It's tricky. I kind of see the problem. It'd be really cool if you could just switch, like, within your gamepad. You know, maybe you have to upgrade to get a better controller with more buttons, but yeah, or maybe you just take away one of your other abilities that you don't really want, like maybe the D-pad. You know, you don't really use your emotes that much. You just use one of your D-pad notions to quickly activate your special melee or something. You know, whatever it is. Not Nightfalls, Lost Sectors for exotic. Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry, like heroic exotics or heroic dark sectors. I think is what it's called. Red says today's Lost Sector is a chess piece. I would highly recommend checking out light.gg and looking at the. It's a very confusing website to look at. Is that the one where it had all like the time codes? It was very it's a lot on screen. I'm like, hey, what do I want? what is here? And looking for all exotics or just looking at them in collections. And yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what you're saying. No, you're talking about just like getting a sense for what all the exotics do, so you can understand what you kind of want. Gotcha. It's also kind of the charm of like playing the game a little bit when you're like, oh, what is this? Is it good? Is it bad? It's terrible. All right, well, I feel bad, and you move on. But maybe one day you're like, oh my god, that could work with that, and oh my god, and then you guys tell me it's not as good as I think it is, and it's depressing. But anyways. Red says, personally, I don't like 99% of the exotic armors for hunters. Titans and warlocks exotics are merged. I agree. I don't know what happened to the hunters, but we used to be the king of style. And then ever since I've seen some of these hoods, I'm just like, man, Bungie has really tried. I think it's because everyone played hunter, to where I think Bungie was just kind of like, we want to try to stop that from happening. And I'm like, why? Let people play what they want to play. You know, it's always annoying. I always see like, there's stuff like that where like even in the competitions for like Guardian games where they try to like make it so like who will win warlocks and that, and then you see the ratio, and the ratio is like fucking 80% hunters, 20% titans, one warlock. Essentially, it's not that bad, but it's such a skewed thing of hunters being such a majority. At least it was. And I kept my ear to the ground with Destiny for a good bit, and I still think that was a thing. So even in my day was, but I think it was still. I remember people being like they had to add in like balancing to where like despite the hunters having such a majority, they had to basically make it so like all of our work was kind of lessened substantially, which even feels worse because you're like, I'm trying my hardest out for the hunters, meanwhile they just fucking like 2% of the warlocks have to do a couple missions and then bang. Probably because people really, I think Destiny, you look at most of the gameplay, most people play PvP. Very few people play PvP in Destiny. I think it's like a margin of like for every 3 people that play Destiny, 1 person plays PvP. I think. I'm willing to bet that that's the case. I feel like PvP is a much more of a niche thing, even though it's theoretically the thing that people can play a lot of, because it's just kind of like people are used to playing like the same thing over and over again. Not to say that there isn't like a very dedicated. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know either. I just, to me, I feel like Destiny's thing would be much more higher. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Lone says, I took a look at the battle pass. So is it worth it, Lone? Because I'm just planning on going with the goddamn like monthly book card, essentially, a library card, essentially. That's my only kind of thing I think I might want to fuck with. If that library card had coral on it, man, like even just 10 coral per month, that, well, maybe not 10, hopefully like 25 coral or something, that'd be at least nice. Then I'd be like, okay, but if it's just points, then that's a little shit. That's a little shitty. Why is the value there? Sell me on it, Lone. My nose. If Nub pops in, we'll watch that damn video he wanted me to watch. Otherwise, I'll have to watch it tonight and then tell him about it tomorrow when we stream. Oh. Guys, I think I might have to activate gamer mode because my neck is starting to hurt again. And yeah. Oh, also, I think I have music playing. I do. It's just quiet. There it is. Gamer mode activated. What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Is the sound just absolute shit? We'll see. Oh. Red says, I want to try and play my hunter. I'm just struggling to find a build with an exotic that I like. The exotics just don't have interesting intrinsic skills. Let me tell you, Red. Red, have you seen the Hunter Glaive build that I've seen? Have you seen it? Have you seen it? Because I don't think I didn't see you using some glaives, all right? Or that was that Fluff. I think it was you. Do you want me to send it to you? Because it's not really, it's just a quick video. Apparently a guy makes a bunch of like videos on like okay builds, and he found one that was actually cracked, and he was like, okay, fuck, I might steal this. And I was like, bold to say that right in the video. But hey. Alone says, well, for starters, you get a weapon and you get lots of materials for leveling up. I'll send you the video as, okay. Interesting. So it's like a little bit of a progression bump in Withering Waves. Interesting. Red says, I have not, but I have seen that those exotics arms look like. And I was like, well, really? Oh, we have a complete. I thought you looked fucking right. These are the big ass fucking robot arms. How do they not look good? I guess you play a woman. I get that makes sense. You're more playing like a sexy, clean, lean. For me, I'm like big armor, go brr. Good girl. Also, what's good, Fluff? How's your week? How's your day going? Lone says, also, Grin, I'm about to send you the drip marketing for 1.1. Is this just a hot character? Are they hot? Also, notice that in the preparation of Withering Waves, Lone is not giving us a Nikita update. Our boy is getting pulled away. I have got a blister on my hand, by the way, that I've been picking at, and it's gotten bad. You know when you, you know when you like start, like, oh, I got a little fucking like skin on my hand. It's like a blister or something. I'm gonna pick at it. Not a blister, sorry. It's like a callus. I got callus, like a, I don't know what to call it, but like a little skin bubble, whatever it's called. And you're like, I'm trying to, this is annoying. I'll mess with it a little bit. And then you open it up and you're like, oh, fuck, okay. And then you're just talking and then you just start ripping open your hand. You're like, oh, this has gotten significantly bad. What have I done? Oh my God. Fluff says, my day is just starting. Where is the message? My day is just starting. Wasn't sleeping well. Oh no, Fluff, that's terrible, man. I did see you playing Destiny quite late too. I also was. Red says, I like the left arm for the exotic arm, but the red arm with the massive block is the forearm just. But theoretically, Red, we won't need that because we're going to be using a glaive in which you only ever see your left arm. You don't ever see your right arm. Ever. Like, ever. And you become an unkillable god. In fact, this is probably like the one build that Fluff is going to be jealous about, because I think this might be a build where hunters can out-tank the Titans. Possibly. Unfortunately, I don't get to mess around with Strand. Apparently, it's only Void, which is not bad, because Void is great for utility and all that stuff, but still. Lone says, mainly because the 1.5 anniversary just ended in the Nikita, and there hasn't been much talking about the new Nikita has dropped, but I'm skipping her because let's just say she's not my cup of tea. I might say your wallet made you choose. Though your wallet made you choose. Is it gonna be Withering Waves or is it gonna be this? Strand Hunters is pretty nice. I know, that's why I don't know, because Fluff is saying that there was like an equivalent build to your Warlock's Summoner build essentially, and I don't know if it was Void or if it was Strand. I feel like it should be Strand, but it probably was Void. Strand gives me like very much like Hive Bug vibes though, so I feel like it might be that. I sent it to you. Let's see. What is this? What is this? Oh, my body. Also, isn't that the worst? I don't even know if you guys can see that properly. Not really. Wait, can I get an angle that actually makes it... You see that? No, you can't. There's a little bit of skin there. It's disgusting. Anyway, sorry. Being gross. Ooh, is this the Withering Waves drip marketing? Well, golly. Let's see. Will this be zoomed in enough? God, I gotta make sure these things are... you guys can see enough. That's fine. That works. It looks beautiful. It looks great. What do you call it? I don't know if it's my exact cup of tea. I don't know. What is she? Is she Animo? There's still much to be done. Please rest assured. I am here to guide you through it. All right. Great. What is that load? Well, from the 3 pixels I can see, it looks like a fire unit with fire gloves. Holy fuck. So I did not expect that to happen. But she looks cool. I imagine it's like a red-headed fire chick. It looks rad. I don't know how I feel 100% about it. But this is, by the way, the hunter build that I was debating on waiting to show you. But fuck it. This is a gentleman's video. Hopefully he doesn't destroy my video by me showing it in the background. But it looks pretty cool. Wait, I'll send a better photo. No, we'll come back probably and look at it in a minute. Well, Fluff says, pretty sure the Glaive Exotic Arm isn't subclass restricted. It just provides a void overshield. Oh, is that what it is? I thought it was something that... Yeah, this is it, basically. But I thought it was something to do with one of the hunter perks that makes it viable. Otherwise, I wonder why it was on the hunter. Yeah. Lone says, Grin, I never have to choose when it comes to my anime women. I don't mess around. Well, you do until you're broke. So that's an absolute goddamn lie. And yes, but hey, you see, I gotta get. So the key with the build is that I gotta get those arms and those and this exotic weapon, Vex Caliber. Please don't tell me it's a fucking exotic coming from a goddamn raid. But yes, and then it does it. It works somehow, some way. Which any void subclass can build around. Plus, there's Vex Caliber. I thought there was one of these like perks he's shifting through right now. That one, melee final blows grant energy. Great energy, is that what it is? I don't know. Fucking know what the hell is that. Which anyone can plus there's a Vex Caliber. Red says, I think what I'm going to end up doing is using the Crytronix Facade Exotic Helmet for Hunters. What is that? The Citrin? I don't know what that is, but okay. It's a helmet, I suppose. Fluff says, Void subclass boost Void overshield duration, so it's synergized best. For Excalibur comes from one of the seasons we can do now. Nice! Nice! I have no idea about this content creator, but his mustache is a choice. Okay, I don't have perfect facial hair either, but I will just say I've noticed his mustache is just some people really like people who have like the firefighter energy or footballer kind of energy. They can pull off a mustache that you would not believe. I think they always have the same thing, which is like unrelenting size, like just massive bodies, and then a mustache on them looks like it makes sense. You know what I mean? But then if you don't have that, it's now you guys might be saying, Grid, you have a mustache. Yes, but it's not really a mustache. It's more of like a connected thing to my beard. It doesn't count. It does not count. Lone says, lol, easy when Grin. Easy then Grin. I just work more. I won't be broke. You must have forgotten about the Is Inuzuma days and Genshin, and I was getting lit up, but I didn't falter. No, I know, Lone, but that's a disease. that's not a good thing. You're talking about like, yes, I have an actual problem. See, look at those gloves. They look fine when you color them right. They're all just like, one tone. It takes off the like excessiveness of it all. Red says the insectoid glaive, the hunter arm things. Oh, wait, no, it's different. The instructed from the exotic hunter helms reads as followed: acrobatics focused. Gain woven mail when activating grapple, increases flinch resistance, and woven mail is active. It doesn't sound great, but maybe I don't know what the woven mail really is. What's good, Lord? Yo, we're looking at a build that I found that I thought looked real nice. Yeah, it's also just, man, that glaive takes up the entire screen real estate. But yeah, he is just unkillable. He gets one couple kills and he's max shield again, and just bang, max shield, max shield, max shield. And yes, I don't know how he handles. I think he has like an automatic machine gun to kind of handle the ranged enemies. And yeah, Lord says I'm making chicken taka masala. Okay, what is that? Chicken something. What's taka? Taka sounds like mushroom type things. Sounds delicious though, Lord. Granted, I'm not really a big fan of mushrooms. I know some people are. They always taste squishy to me. Not a fan. Fluff says, I linked how to get the Vexor. Let's go! Thank you, Fluff. Fluff, there's so much things to do. So much things to do. Oh, so tomorrow, by the way, tomorrow's game plan is for us to... what is it again? It's, it is to... Oh, to finish up the fun best DLC, Witch Queen, and then, which I think we're almost done, and then to maybe possibly grind a little bit of that one quest, not quest, the dungeon. Sorry, the dungeon with the fire, the dungeon that drops you the pistol, the EDZ dungeon that drops you the pistol. Yeah. Lord says. It's chicken curry. Oh, that's awesome. Chicken curry sounds amazing. Man, I don't even know if I've ever actually had curry. Like, ever. And I love taste, by the way. I like flavors. Granted, I wonder what it would taste like. I always hear people talk about curry. And I've tasted very few things, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, as far as food goes. And it's probably like, what? You never had curry? I'm like, I've had, like Mexican food, kind of, and not really. Just, like, bog standard Mexican food, like nachos and, like, burritos and such. And yes. Warlock Ruins for the Indebted Kindness. No, it's I want to farm for the rocket pistol. So there's like a sidearm that basically shoots homing rockets, not homing rockets, sorry, just rockets. And I believe we have to do the EDZ dungeon, which in the first chest, if we do it on Grandmaster, we can actually get it. We basically can get it. I don't know if we can do it on Grandmaster, so we just may have to work through the entire dungeon and just hope for the best. But I do think the way that people have farmed for that sidearm is just by running that first little bit, which apparently is not as bad if you use tractor cannons, and then like just high percussion alts essentially to melt the first boss within one cycle. But it might just have to, we may not be able to do it with that. I'll send you guys a video probably after this stream if I remember. That shows a person like walking through how to do it, essentially. That's the Indebted Kindness. Okay, that's what it's called. That one. Also, apparently that. Well, actually, I don't even know if we need to do it that way. I think the only reason why you do Grandmaster is to get the armor. So theoretically, we could just run the normal one if it was too heavy. But it would be also, the armor looks kind of awesome. EDZ armor always has like the Knights of the Round Table kind of like armor plated look, which I love. So I would be cool if we could do the Grandmaster one. But yeah. What's good, Raid? How are you? You finally made it. Raid always is late to these ones specifically, but I'm happy Raid's here. We can still hang out for an hour. Ooh. Red says. Only male provides 45. Oh, no. Red said, "Fuck you." Actually, stop. Fluff says the sidearm drops from the first boss in the last chest. Yeah. That's why people just farm the first boss and then just reset the encounter. That's what the video I seen was. They are also doing a Withering Waves reveal live. Ooh, when? Like today or tomorrow? I'm a little sad that, I guess it makes sense though. We did get one dude first, which is people were like, yuck, a man as the first character in the standard banner or in the special banner? Disgust me. Meanwhile, the man looks like the softest, like, yeah, pretty boy ever, but hey. That'd be the one thing to really, like, if they fucking pulled that off in Genshin, or not Genshin, in Withering Waves, sorry, if they were like, they made the most, like, fucking testosterone-driven, like, just fucking crazy-looking guy. Raid says, not much, Lone. Raid, you missed all the Withering Waves talk. Oh, we talked about my team, we talked about Lone's team, we talked about all the shit. Fluff says, should be able to do the, just run the normal. Yeah. Why? I wonder why people do Grandmaster then. I thought that maybe is to get the armor. Red says, not much, Lone just woke up. Red says, repost. A woven mail provides 45 damage resistance. Whew. For a 10 seconds, on top of releasing 30%. On top of resistance, 30% for 70. Wow, okay, that sounds crazy. I was about to say this one this build, when you melee something, you get 50% resistance, and then I think there's another thing. Then you get a whole other. You still have your health bar, but still, that sounds maybe a little bit better than that one. But also, I can instantly refresh this one, so maybe it's less. I don't know. I don't know. Depends on how easy you're able to get your grenades, I suppose. Although the one thing I don't love about this is apparently you use suppression grenades. I think it's just a choice. I think it's also because there's certain grenades can like affect champions and shit. So theoretically, you always will be able to like shut down an enemy and then start like smashing the shit out of them. So I don't know. I don't love using suppression grenades, but still, the build looks okay. It's a little shitty that there's an exotic thing. What do you call it, Fluff? What do you think about my hope? By the way, I did a lot of looking into glaives, and I kind of understood what people meant by the whole like fuckiness of them all. I already talked about it, so I don't want to beat a dead horse. But I did say I would love it if they basically made a kinetic glaive that took away the shield, and instead of you throwing or putting up a shield, instead you basically would like cock up your hand and like throw a spear. That would be much better. And also it would be nice if they took away your ability, if they took away your ability to use melee. So basically, arch for like the kinetic glaive on your primary slot. If you would hit RT, that would basically do like a melee, just like a close quarter melee. And then when you hit LT and then fire, like the actual like aim and then fire, you would basically javelin your spear, and then you would still have access to your melee button, your melee skill. That to me would be the best. It's a little shitty because we theoretically wouldn't have the ability to like shoot like a special range shot, but which we kind of still do. Instead, we're just throwing a glaive, which I would love if it was actually like pretty substantial damage, because you're literally throwing like a giant fucking piece of steel at someone's head. And also be great if it could crit. So that'd be like the icing on the cake. Maybe it'd be cool if there was a perk that made it so that your glaive could crit. Those two things I think would be just fantastic. The only thing I think they would need to do is balance it in a way to where there has to be a way to kind of, well, I don't know, because like sidearms are fucking cracked, you know? Yeah, and as long as it was like sufficient fall off for the spears, then I think it would be fine. Like I think you could make it like hit like a crossbow or like a bow, like a fucking giant lead pipe running into your head. I think that would still be fine, especially if they gave it stuff like lower attack speed. But that'd be my idea. What's good, Rasta? I just seen you were at Twitch. Sorry, sometimes Twitch is quiet, so I get into my own little head about shit. Raid says, damn, rip. Fluff's Grandmaster likely improved the stats of the armor and such, but wouldn't matter for... Okay, yeah, so that doesn't matter. Raid says, I still have no idea if Withering Waves is going to be on PS5 or not. I don't know about that either. I think it is, because Lone is playing it, but I don't know if he's playing on his phone or not. I think in time it will probably be on PS5, really quickly. Fluff says, I could see that being an exotic. They'll properly have to be hold reload to swap for throwing mode. Maybe, but I just don't know why you would like I would be fine, because one of the reasons why, like, to me it totally makes sense for glaives is like the special ammo and all that stuff. The glaives are basically like unpenetrable shields, so like there needs to be some way to like fuck up that shield from being unpenetrable, and that has to be like the fact that you have to recharge it by shooting it. Although you can always let it recharge by itself, but it just takes a long time. But yeah, it is Ray Plus. Oh, it is. Okay, Ray alone says it is. It is on PlayStation 5. Plus, there will be a cross-platform and cross-progression, so we can play together. Fluff says lots of exotics have alternative modes by holding on. No, I know. To me, I just don't know if it'd be necessary, because theoretically, like the only reason yeah, like we're still getting the ranged hit, but basically, yeah, I don't know why they didn't just do that from the get-go. Like, to me, it's not a nightmare to hold LT and then shoot, you know, and that way we still have access to our special melee, but then we can just hit like right trigger to just do like the melee, bash essentially. And I also think that like the glaives seem to suffer from really bad perks, like perks that aren't exciting. Like if there was a perk that like the more you hit, the more you build up like stacks, and then those stacks build up attack speed. Like things like that could be massive. And then to have another perk that says the more times you hit an opponent, the more you build up this stack, and then that stack gives you what's it called? The ability to not get knocked back. And maybe a little bit more resistance, just a little bit. And stuff like that, to me, would be like perks that people would hunt for and seek. But a lot of them, seemingly from what I've seen from an outside, like kind of like a faraway purpose or faraway distance, have been like better range on your glaive, slightly better shielding on your glaive, the ability to kind of reflect damage kind of on your glaive, but the enemies basically never hit you anyway, so it's kind of fucky. Stuff like that. That's a little rough. Yeah, I'd be fine with the hold to change your alternative fire mode thing, but I don't know. I really do want to, because I really would just like to have a glaive all the time. Like, that's my issue. So to me, I don't love that. If there's any way to not make it an exotic, that would be to basically limit the two things that make glaives already really strong, which is, and it would also make sense by just being like the nature of a kinetic glaive, it being different. Like a kinetic glaive to me seems like it's more of a punchy glaive, a hitting glaive, so it would make sense that they were like, yeah, the shielding, like the god shield, is reserved for the special ammo glaive or the secondary slot glaives, and then the heavy glaive, whereas the kinetic glaives are specifically basically just like spears, where you're chucking a lead pipe into someone's head, and maybe there's like perks that they could put on, like explosive delivery and stuff like that, where you throw a fucking pike into someone's chest and then it pops. Like, that stuff to me would be really exciting, and I hope that there's a chance. Lone says, I won't be coming to PS5 at launch, however. Oh, never mind, Raid. Never mind. Raid says, damn, I could have sworn I remember the friend saying it was on the PlayStation Store already. Hopefully it's not any more than a month and a half or something away. We'll warm the seat for you, Raid. We'll warm the seat. Lone says, hell no, I'm not playing it on my phone. My phone would have a stroke. I'm going to play it on my tablet. Sorry, tablet. My bad, tablet. I connect a controller. So, yeah, sorry, the tablet. My bad. I will. Easy. Okay. Ray says, hopefully it doesn't take too. Yeah, I'd be shocked. I think it's probably like a server issue. I think like the biggest moneymaker for them is going to be PlayStation, both in China and Japan, as well as just the US. There's so many PlayStations out in the world space, so I think a lot of them are probably trying to like make it so that the servers and all like the grunt issues are shitty. I hope that you guys aren't far behind though. That's always weird when like the PC people and the mobile people are like 2 weeks ahead of you guys, or like a month ahead of you guys. That sucks. Lone says, if I were to guess, Raid, it'd probably take as long as Star Rail did, around 6 months or so. Yeah, that sounds about, really? So you guys are just going to be behind by like 6 months? Fuck. That sounds terrible. Yeesh. I did pre-register on PC, though. Ooh. I did too, but they never sent me any more emails. I'm not sure why. I hope I'm still pre-registered. Like, I hope I still can like download the app that's like free, I think. I'm gonna have to ask Lone to send me some shit about that because I have no idea. I'll worry about that on Monday, I guess, which is a day away. Fluff says, or like, no, sorry, when it is a day away. Fluff says, exotics are the excuse to have unique gimmicks, like the kinetic fusion rifle or the sidearm that have charge up laser or a frozen blast, but not always. Recently, they've actually been changing that, Fluff. That's that pistol in general. That like a sidearm that is a special weapon, which is already kind of strange, and also it's not an exotic, and yet it also fires like explosive rockets, and that was behind the dungeon run. So like to me, I do think they're starting to kind of understand that that's like a massive draw to people. I think, which is like a legendary that can be with the right perks, basically an exotic. And I think that's a big pull for them. I think they're starting to realize that, because I noticed that there's a lot of other things that are like that. Like outside of sidearms, there's, I think, I've seen a couple unique bows. I've seen a couple unique, like again, even the bow that I found with the raid bow. The raid bow theoretically is one of the few bows that has the right perk combination that can basically create a bow and make it like an exotic, like kind of like a, what is it called? The sidearm that is, the fire starter, I don't know what it's called, but it's basically like it's like a raspberry kind of like makes like a sound, like kind of like a very sharp shot sound essentially. Apparently it's really good this season, but I haven't touched it because I don't know. I mean, I don't want to open up hand cannons again. I love hand cannons, but I want to take a little bit of a distance from them. Also, Rossi says, Grim, isn't Gris like the no fighting ing puzzle? What, Rasta? What? Ross says, I mean, it's Sony. Sony saying no to money is stupid. Grin, isn't GRIS like the no fighting any puzzle? What does that mean, Rasta? What you mean? What you mean? I'll have to connect a controller to my laptop. Oh, you're playing though, day one with the logo. Fluff says, it's only way the idea would work without overhauling the glaive entirely. But I don't know if that's true necessarily though, Fluff, because again, like I said, there have been examples of them like basically taking a already like an established type of thing and then adding stuff on top of it. Because what I'm asking isn't really, like, every system is already there. Like there's already the ability to aim and shoot. All you'd be doing is taking away the shield from you aiming and shooting. And maybe if they wanted to leave in the melee-ification of everything, that'd be fine. But I do think the main reason why glaives are like considered to be special ammos and only special ammos or heavy ammos, like weapons, is because the shield is like super resistance. Like even at endgame, even at the hardest difficulties, glaives are still like tanking shots like that they shouldn't be. And yeah. Lone says, I pre-register on a Google store. Oh, is that how it is? Okay. Raid says, does WooWoo have its own launcher? I don't know. Hopefully I can just download it on Steam, because I hated doing that for Genshin. Shit was annoying. Fluff says, special ammo is not the same thing. There's plenty of weapons that break the usual ammo restriction. No, I'm not saying special ammo. I'm saying the fact that there's a sidearm that shoots rockets, and I don't think there's any sidearm that's equivalent to that but this legendary sidearm. The one that I'm talking about. The one that I want to go get. The sidearm's just using special ammo. It doesn't... Yeah, I'm not talking about the sidearms using special ammo. I'm saying that I know there's like other sidearms that are exotics that use special ammo, but yeah, it was the first of its kind to not just do the sidearm thing, or the special ammo thing, sorry, but to do the shooting rockets from a tiny pistol thing that actually like substantially hits. I hope this is, if that is the case, whatever it is, hopefully, regardless, this is a weird conversation. Regardless, hopefully this is the first time for everything kind of moment. Hopefully. Because no one's using the fucking glaives, essentially. I'm not sure, ready to have it looked into since I'm not mobile. The sidearms just use special ammo. It doesn't have any alternative function. Yeah, I see that it's on the Epic Game Store, but I don't see it on... I don't remember Epic Game account. Oh, dang. Oh, my... Sorry. Raid said, I'd be down to run Warlord's Ruins with you, too. I got the sidearm with you, Grin, because I wanted to. Let's go! Okay, great. We have a whole thing going on, probably, eventually, hopefully, at some point. I do, what do you call it? I think Fluff also wants it, and I think Red is also interested in it. So, and also, you might be, so we might just do a bunch of runs together. We might just do half and half. Also, I think I want a good version of it, so I'll probably do a lot regardless if I get it immediately, you know? And I imagine one of us is going to burn out on getting it, so we'll probably have time to play together. Anime Fan says, hi, Grim. I overslept, and my ex wanted to talk to me, so I couldn't sleep. Why did you? I got questions. I got questions that are unreasonable. But why are you still in contact with your ex? Really? I guess that's fine. It's fine to have a relationship with your past person, but I don't know. It also seems like a fucking, like you said, just a bunch of stress. Stress. Raid says also supposedly the sidearm drops off of everything in wait, what? Supposedly the sidearm drops off of every encounter. Okay, so not just the first one? I think it's just easier to run the first encounter. I think that's why people run the first encounter raid. From the video I've seen that people, like, if you get into a good sequence, you can basically kill the first boss within like 5 seconds of starting the encounter. And then you can just reset the encounter and jump in again. So I think it technically is a little bit faster. I think. Something like that. Fluff says, yeah, but that's just changing the function of the round of the primary fire. Changing it to a throw would be a hold reload function rather than exotic or not. Okay, I don't. Regardless, I don't know. I don't care. I don't care. I'm confused. I'm not really picturing it. And at the same time, all I really want is the ability to throw a glaive, and I would hate that it would be an exotic. So like the outcome of it being an exotic would just be pointless to me because there's already exotic glaives I think are like neat enough to want to play with them. My main thing I want to solve right now is to be able to my own issue, my selfish issue. This is not everyone else's problem. It's not Bungie's to solve. My hope is that I can have a kinetic glaive that I could use my primary slot, because the amount of times that I'm like, oh, that weapon looks cool, it happens to be in my primary slot. It also happens to not use special ammo. Or, sorry, it also happens to be my secondary slot, and it also doesn't use special ammo. And to me, I find for every like one exotic, for every one special ammo you find in your primary slot, there's like 5 that you can put in your special slot. So to me, it's special slot. But to me, it's an annoying problem that I dislike, because all I want is to be able to play with a glaive and have fun with the glaive, without having to nix out all the other stuff that I think is equally as important and valuable. You know, so it's a little shitty. I would rather that not to be the case. So whatever they, I hope they're, and I don't think it's unreasonable to put a to make a kinetic glaive. The only issue with that I see is that the only reasons why the kinetic glaives basically have a thing with shielding, essentially. So like the shielding is so powerful with the kinetic glaive, or with special glaive, sorry, that they would need a way to nerf the shielding, which is why to me I'd like, oh, just take it out altogether, and then just give me the ability to shoot something, and yeah. Raid says, yeah, but also I think like the reason why glaives feel decent is because like when you fire at them at someone, at least, is because you don't have a charge shot, essentially, or like you don't have a that much ammo. So like if you had unlimited ammo and it still felt, you know, did a lot of damage, yeah. But if they made it like a precision weapon where you have to throw it into someone's head to like do it as much or if not more damage than the previous glaive, then that to me would be really cool. Granted, I also think glaives are not in the worst place possible. I think they just gave glaives better perk pools that were actually indicative of how you want to play with a glaive, like a glaive mod that gives you the ability to increase attack speed exponentially by getting stacks, or get more resistance to knockback, or resistance a little bit to your health. That would, I think, solve a lot of the problems with glaives. Granted, maybe not the resistance, because theoretically you can always block, so it's just a matter of being too overeager to do damage. Raid says, yeah, the first encounter is super. Yeah, I think that's what people are all about. Anime Fan says, I got rid of the contact like 4 months ago, and they just came back? God damn, be careful, anime. That's some crazy, weird shit. Well, what was the message? Was it just like, how are you? Or was it like, we need to talk? Because one of those, both of those, you kind of be like, I'm okay. I never found that. I never seen that message. Fluff says, glaive is likely going to stay special or heavy, the winter bite ammo, but they could at least have a stasis or strand damage glaive, which would go into the top slot. If they may have kinetic glaive, I highly doubt they wouldn't make it an exotic. Unfortunately, I agree with unfortunately. I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong, because it would be really cool to have that. Fluff says, since glaives already do kinetic damage with their melee, but the shots are considered energy. Yeah. Even if they took away the ability for it to fire, I just want to have it in my top slot and it not take, special ammo would be great. Fluff says, I've seen people rock glaives in PvP. Yeah, PvP I've seen people use them, weirdly enough. I think it's just because the melee has good lock on. You can just kind of like attack pretty fast. And in other modes, it's just lacking in terms of burst damage and can do sustained damage at range due to its low ammo. The only kinetic fusion rifle is an exotic in the top slot. Oh, I didn't know that. That's hilarious. Which is why I figured it would be that way. Yeah. I hope, again, to me, my whole train of thought is I just really do enjoy that aspect of Destiny. I think that's probably like the best thing that I found in the game is, to me, I'm more excited by legendaries and getting the right role of a legendary that basically becomes an exotic than the exotics themselves, because I theoretically can have unlimited of that exotic. Or of that legendary, which is basically an exotic. So to me, that's the main reason why I find I am pushed to seek out, because otherwise it's just a bunch of like shotguns that you've seen before. It's just another shotgun that you've seen before that maybe has a different skin, but who the fuck cares? Like, it's just another skin. To me, when I found out about the sidearm pistol that basically shoots rockets, I was like, fuck yeah, that's totally worth getting. I've seen the gameplay of it. It looks as crazy as it sounds. When I seen that there was a bow that basically acted as like a chain detonating monster, totally worth getting. So to me, maybe that's what I'm hoping for. I just hope there's a glaive that is worth a damn, that's legendary, not necessarily an exotic. And every legendary that I've seen is, again, the perk pools for glaives do not look like exciting or interesting in any capacity. Maybe I haven't seen enough of them. Maybe I am crazy and there is like a rampage equivalent of that type of thing. But it's just, yeah, it doesn't look quite like what I want yet. Granted, I will say that, like, to me, the heavy glaive that goes in your heavy slot, that to me sounds like the most incredible thing ever, because like glaives are already something that like are almost the Swiss Army knife of everything, and I rarely use my heavy anyway. I just kind of forget about it. So as long as that glaive has like a powerful sub shot, I'm locked in. Like, I'm so locked in. I can't describe how fucking awesome I think that'd be. The issue is I think that glaive is going to be a monster. Just fucking mad heavy. Like, big in your, like, 90% of your screen is going to be that glaive. So I would love to get that heavy glaive, because a lot of times I'm like, I don't really know what to put in my heavy slot. And that would be something really nice. And I think again, I don't know. I think the rocket sidearm is unfortunately in your secondary slot, man. Fuck, the fight for a good primary is just such a fucking nightmare. I haven't found one good like primary weapon that is like I'm hoping, which is like a primary that is a primary legendary that also happens to act as a kind of like an exotic, like a legendary that is as cool as an exotic, you know, or like the perk pool combination can be as cool as an exotic. The only connection, Raid says, oh yeah, I saw something about an exotic heavy trace rifle for Final Shape. Ooh, yeah, man, they've been showing all the exotic weapons. I'm not sure if that's exactly, I love that. I feel like half of the spice of life is you being like, oh fuck, this is a new exotic, holy shit, that sounds incredible based on the perk description. But I also feel like, I feel like that's probably not the play. I feel like Destiny and Bungie is probably like, oh my god, dude, there's going to be so fucking much, what is it called? So much stuff for people to decrypt, like with the subclasses and how they mingle together, that people don't want more uncertainty about like the exotics. So I feel like that's probably a chunk of why. Which sounds like it could be fun. Anime fan says basically like we need to talk but wonder what I was doing. Yeah, fucking be careful, anime fan. Be careful, buddy. That's that shit that's just like, I never seen that message. That message didn't exist. I blocked that number. I never got it. She comes up to you and says, hey, I tried to talk to you a while back. And I'm like, all right, I changed my number. My phone broke. Something happened. You lie through your fucking teeth until they go away. Because that is, unless you ended on like terms in which you both separated, you both still loved each other, but you had to move or something. Unless there's like a very subsect, oftentimes it's like, no. I very rarely have heard that sequence work out. Maybe you're different, but I very rarely heard the sequence of I broke up with this person, and then maybe like 4 months later, they completely changed, and all of the problems and we broke up were randomly solved. Just like that. It's rare, almost impossible, I'd say, of a thing. So yeah. Fluff says, top slot is where kinetic stasis and strand damage, primary and special, go in the middle. Slot will be there light energy weapons go. So if it's kinetic damage and strand stasis, it will be always going to. Oh, I see. So we just need a strand glaive, which I don't think we have. Oh, by the way, I've seen all of the subclasses glaives, which all of them look really bad except for the Hunter's one. But even then, the Hunter's one doesn't look as good as this one. Like, this one looks actually very good. The Hunter one, it looks kind of okay. It just looks like, why would I not just use the pistol, the sidearm pistol that's like a rocket? Like, you just do the same amount of chain AoE damage, and yeah. And I think it's better ammo efficiency also. Also, it's not an exotic, so you wouldn't be burning your exotic slot. Destiny gotta make these exotic slots worth spending. Oh. Winter's Bite big friggin' glaive fires a large ball of energy that locks onto nearby enemy. Oh, so it's an AoE thing. And freezes them, tilting at the windmill. Blocking damage from your shield increases movement speed and block. That's kind of neat. Am I right in that there's exotics that can have random rolls on them now, by the way? I always thought exotics had like predestined rolls, but now it seems like that's not the case. Lone says, anime update, Grin. I finished Shingara La Frontier, the Birdman. Oh yeah, the Birdman update. How is it? My brother said it was great. And started Oshi no Ko, the anime nub, is trying to get you to... Really? You watched it? Oh, fuck. Really? That is crazy. I'll just be like, hey, nub, I know you told me to watch that. Lone took care of me. Talk to Lone about it, please. How bad is it? How bad is it, Lone? Because you said you started it. What did you understand why nub is like, this is bad? The beginning, at least. Anime fan says, and happened to be the situation. Sorry, and it happened. Oh, anime fan says, and it happened to be that situation, lol. But yeah, I'm careful in the dating. Yeah, be careful, man. Be careful. Should be tough. Should be a little rough out here. Yeah, I always just want people to be careful because it's really hard to change, and people really have to want to change. So if someone gets back together with you, oftentimes it's not like, ooh, I'm kind of fucked up and I need to fix my problems. Instead, it's like, oh my god, I really had it good with that person. It turns out they're actually pretty good as far as like just handling my bullshit. I'm not going to fix my bullshit at all, but I'm just going to basically say like, eat me. Ooh, this is where that's like a little bit of a weakness to the weapon. I just seen that build where when you're fighting bosses, a little rough, a little rough. What's good, Bolty? Bolty, are you ready for Withering Waves? Fluff says, Hawkmoon is the only one I'm aware of that is because I changed some perks each week from oh, is that right? Interesting. Okay, so it's only maybe that's it. It's only Hawkmoon. I thought it was just other ones. Never mind. Only other exotic that technically do that are the craftables, but that's not RNG rolls. Only up to your crafting. Oh, okay. I didn't even know there was crafting exotics. Like any exotic you can craft, or is it specific like exotics you have to work for just to be able to get the crafting blueprint of them? I bet they're expensive as shit. Lone says, well, I only watched 30 minutes of the first episode. Also, side note, why the fuck is the first episode of the show an hour and a half long? That piece of shit. That motherfucker. Nub wanted me to watch. He's like, just watch the first episode. It's basically like half the season. What a dickhead. Anyways. An hour and a half long. And a point. Yeah, it's the point of the movie. It is, we do not have the strand glaive, and the only stasis glaive is a heavy. But it says, because it's basically, because it is basically low. Yeah, damn. Fluff says, so if I was to get a strand glaive, it would likely still be an exotic and maybe a heavy. Lone says, Lone says, but my overall reaction to the anime so far is, what the fuck am I watching now? I'm not sure if I am saying that for better or worse. I'll have to let you know. I don't like it. I love that response. Okay, keep me posted. Fluff says, Revision 0, A Dead Man's Tale, and Dead Messenger, Whisper of the Worm, Outbreak Perfected are all craftable exotics. Okay, I don't understand what any of those are, but okay. But it says, Withering Waves will be interesting at least. I can't say much about it. I hope you play a little bit. What do you call it? Nub says, day 5 of shaming you. What do you call it, Nub? You just missed it. You just missed Lone telling me he's watched it. He started watching the anime. You motherfucker. You did not tell me. You did not fucking tell me that you said, hey, just watch the first episode at the least. The first episode's an hour and a half long, Lone says. What the fuck? It's like watching half an anime season. No, absolutely not. I watched the video probably, but Lone said he'll keep me posted. I kind of like that idea first. Lone is going to tell me why it's cursed, essentially. I will watch that video, though, that you sent me. We have access to the Whisper of 0 Hour exotic quest from the Into the Light destination. We have weekly rotations for exotic missions for each other 3. I see. Adam Fan says, so true date. So many people broke up with me. Broke up with him. I lost the message. True, dated so many people, but broke up with them. But yeah, I agree with you very much. Yeah, we gotta be careful. On legendary difficulty, often with extra mission puzzles. Oh, for the exotic like special thing, the like special. That's the one thing I'm sad about. I don't know how to get my other like if I like an exotic, then you have to get the utility effect of it, or like the special exotic perk that comes with it as well. Pulse rifle build. Fuck, the chat's moving out of nowhere. Dead Messenger is a break-loading grenade launcher and can cycle between Void, Arc, and so. Ooh, that's kind of nice. Although I feel like that's less pertinent nowadays with just how much of a thing where champions and overloaded people are. But Grin, the Birdman anime was fun. Watch Grin. I feel like you might not be that invested in it because it takes place in a video. I know. My brother did tell me though that like I think I do. I like it because it kind of plays off of an idea of like that I can kind of relate to, which is like challenge. So like the opening to me I think hooks me, which is why I like it's like some of these other ones that don't really do that to me. Like the girl who invested like all of her points into becoming a tank, like even more tanky, is fun, but it just doesn't really have any like no tension in it. But yeah, to me, this one, it kind of like he starts the anime being like drop kicking this princess and talking about how bad this game is developed and how he can't help but play these games or like optimized in a terrible way. So he plays those games. Another says, that's why I linked you the video. I know, but still, I remember when you were talking about this, you were just like, I think just watch the first episode, Grin. You didn't mention that it was a fucking hour and a half long. I thought, it's like 30 minutes, whatever. I mean, maybe I could do that. It's like 20 minutes, not an hour and a half movie. Tell Lone it's just episode 1. Yeah, Lone, it's just episode 1. Nub says, but damn. Lone was like, why not just say it's a movie at that point? We're only on week 1 of Outbreak Perfected mission, so we'll have more to do the next week or 2 or so. Yeah, I was wondering, is the exotic weapon quest worth doing this week? Should we do that tomorrow instead of doing the one thing? I don't know. That's the kind of the tricky thing is I just don't know what's the most important thing to do that like we could do, like that, like, you know, it's some stuff I could do. Like I think I could grind for Super Black on my time if I really wanted to, but there's some things I don't know what I should do when it's, yeah. Nub says, cause it has 10 episodes, so it's a series. It's technically a thing that doesn't exist, says Nub. Which is technically a thing. Oh, sorry. Which is mix of movie and a. Oh, I see. So it's a movie and a series kind of mix anime. Weird. Lone said to me, Nub, that after watching it, he's so confused, and he doesn't know if it's. And he didn't use the word confused. He used the word like. Basically, he said like it's really odd, and I don't know if it's a good odd or a bad odd yet. But he'll let me know. So that's what he told me. So we'll see. We'll see. Bolty says, and if we already talking about anime, I can recommend the Archdemon Dilemma, How to Love Your Elf Bride. It's pretty wholesome romantic. Ooh, is that one? I only know one like Elf Bride manga, and it's very good, but it's also very kind of twisted in a way. Any song recommendations, by the way? Not, man, I'm just subscribed to so many like music channels, and they upload some music, and I listen to it. I'm like, that's good, and then I add it to my playlist on YouTube, and then I just listen to that when I work out. But yeah, that's all I got. I don't know. To me, man, it's one of the weirder artists ever, but I always go back to him as he just has such a weird sound, but I like it a lot. Oliver Tree. I'm not sure if you know him, but he plays like a really weird character, but his music is just kind of just weird enough to where like. Kind of into it. It's just like his voice is weird. It's kind of fucky. It's a little poppy, a little bit too poppy, but it's still just neat. You know? Yeah. Revelation Zero is the current available exotic separate from Whisper and Outbreak. It'd be worth running, and it's not too rough. It doesn't have a timer, unlike the other exotic. Ooh, that's nice. Friendly banter between friends working together to overcome tough bosses. Each person have their own unique place. Yeah, I know. My brother was telling me about like one of the last things in the series is like the main character puts on a fucking he basically keeps dying to this boss, and he keeps getting frustrated. And he's like, this fucking sucks. I can't do it. He has too many attacks coming at me. So then I think he finds like a helmet that has like a blade on it, and he's like, no way. So then he puts on this fucking helmet that has this giant like unicorn blade on it, and he's like, and then he starts fucking parrying with his head, essentially. So he's like defeating this, he's like fighting this boss that's like impossible to beat, and he's just sitting there fucking parrying the shit out of him with his head as well, like, not today, bitch. It's just, and shit like that to me. My brother was telling me moments about it, and I'm like, damn, that sounds funny. That sounds good. Plus, the exotic missions are fun with mechanics that are otherwise usually reserved for raids and such dungeons. Ooh, that's fun. Like, I relate to the MC of the anime because he always is a guy with his friends group who plays these weird-ass niche games. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it makes sense. Bodhi says, Lone says, Bolty, I have that anime in the queue. I might need to add it. I've taken a look. It's going to be one of those things where I'm like, hey, guys, can you send me like your queue? Because I've taken a little bit of break of anime. I'm gonna get back into it. I need to catch up. I haven't even made a dent in my life, but it doesn't matter. I'm not sure if you guys relate to this, but like to me, it's more about the loss of a story that I think has potential. You know what I mean? Like of a cute story that I haven't heard before, or that I think it looks interesting enough to make me entertained. To where it's more about just aggregating that so I don't lose it. You know? Like, I'd be devastated if I lost my anime full. Because it's just, there's so many stories. I'm like, I will like it. I think I'll like this. Anime fan says, I recommend the channel Nefx to you. He's basically rap, but it's actually good. Oh, is that the guy who's all about like hype music? He does like royalty free music? I think I know him. Yeah, he does a lot of like AMVA stuff where like he's always in every album because his stuff is royalty free. He sounds awesome. He has a couple bops. He made one recently that I thought was incredible. Normally he sounds a little bit teen angsty, which is fine. Like I like that too, but like it was just a little bit much this time around. But then he made another one that I thought was like, oh no, this one actually sounds clean, you know. Fluff says, it's only time constrained due to the exotic mission act cycle, which may expand into... Yeah, so best makes use of the time. Yeah, so we'll probably do a little bit of that tomorrow, too. Maybe like a couple runs of the one thing. Lone says, the moment in the anime was epic. Yeah, the fucking head parrying one. It's funny because his friends were like... my brother was telling me as well. He's like... His friends were like, he's never going to let me live this down if he was able to beat that boss with that fucking stupid combo. And I can't even defeat this boss. So fucking... but we can't always just wait on it to come back. Stuff like Super Black is something you should try to get before I know! Fuck, but there's so much things to fluff. I'm gonna fall apart. There's so many things. I think I just need to make use of Monday. Like, if I can get in there, do all the like missions for the Brave quest line and stuff, then yeah. Why did the Super Black have to look so cool? It looks like you're a void monster, you know? Ooh. Update on my shaker cup. I still haven't gotten an email yet. This is gonna be a weekly thing because I know it's far away, but I can't be settled until I can check my Amazon package, not my Amazon, but my GamerSupps like order package and track it and be like, it is still 5 days away, sir, or it's still 3 months away, sir. It is in Ottawa. Good luck. And I'm like, yeah, I just want to be able to look at it and see that it's just moved an inch. Fluff says, that or the season activity and quests, because those aren't coming back either. Yeah, I don't know if I need any of those. Like, I looked at a lot of the weapons for the seasonal stuff. I didn't see anything that stood out too much. I thought there was like an SMG and a fusion rifle that people really dug, but yeah. Laura says, back to the old school anime for me. What kind of anime them? Cowboy Bebop and stuff like that? Or like Death Book. What? Death Note? That's it. Death Book. Brutal. Fucking completely cursed. Lone says, Nefa, I enjoy the music. My friend some seems to be addicted. Yeah. But anyways, you know what's weird? No anime character in any game uses a scythe. There's Ruby from the series Ruby Rose. Yeah. Not a lot. Yeah, not a lot. There's some that like do it one-off. Like I know there's like the Demon King Reincarnated. He'll have like one god tier attack where he like fucking uses a scythe. But yeah, not like dominantly. Also, man, I went back and watched like Ruby because I remember the soundtrack of that show was always really nice. Like I just liked the female vocalist in that one. But I remember I went back and I listened to it. And I also seen some gameplay of it. Or not gameplay. I've seen some animation, and I was like, "Damn, man! I remember this looking good." This is one of the Ruby. Ruby looks rough. Ruby looks budgeted badly. Fluff says there's a few Ruby games, but she's also a crossover character in a few Blaze Blue crossover battles, Smite, and yeah. I imagine they trying to get everywhere with collaborations. Anime fan says, guess I've never heard of that game. No, it's not a game. It's an anime, but yeah. Fluff said, there is a game for Scythes. There's Darksiders 2, which is one of like the best games ever, man. Darksiders 2 is fantastic. I also think Darksiders 3 might have been one. Also, man, I don't think we're ever going to get a sequel to Darksiders 3, which just sucks because that was the one I wanted to play the most. Is Wrath. Is it Wrath? I think it's Wrath. The gun guy. Fluff says Tower Fantasy also has a lot of scythe characters. That's true. Bloody says Bada from Record of Ragnarok. What's that? Buddha from Record of Ragnarok. I didn't see that. Is that the one where like they're holding the goddess so her back problems don't get worse, kind of thing? Fluff says there's also Zilima in Soul Calibur, but he's not an anime character, just Japanese development. Yeah. I feel like Darksider is the best scythe character in all of games. Darksiders 2. Uncle Death isn't is Uncle Death? Let me tell you, Uncle Death's scythe weapon is the most disappointing thing ever. Thank you very much. So I would not say that counts. The scythe implies power, cleave. like a sickle through a haystack, you know, that kind of thing, or haystack. The only game right now with the playable strafe is I know. Oh, yeah, Strife. That's what it was. Strife. Strife was the not Wrath. Strife is the Genesis, which was developed by Airship Syndicate, currently developed in rework Wayfinders to make a game more akin to Remnant 2. Oh, I didn't know that. Neat. Lone says, we did get a Strife game, Darkside. No, we did not. It was a fucking top-down piece of shit. Top-down piece of shit game. And it wasn't even just, it was like all of it. You could play a bunch of them. Lone says, we did get a Strafe game, Darksiders Genesis. It's called, I know, guys, but that's not what I meant. That doesn't count because you could play everyone. It wasn't just Strafe, I think. It was everybody. You could, one of the playable characters was Strafe, but there was all Strife, whatever. But there was all the other ones. Darksiders 2 is definitely the best installment of the series. Fury in Darksiders 3 is fine, but the gameplay more like a clunky Souls. It was trying to be like a Souls-like game. I agree. You played either Strife or War in the co-op. Oh. I thought it was like a top-down, you play whatever character. I've seen a four-player co-op, and it looked whatever. Also, Strife always had the coolest armor, too, and I was just like, ah. Oh, also, by the way, let me catch up. Also, Nobu's saying stuff. Technically a thing that doesn't exist. Makes a movie series. So we're watching a video together on stream tomorrow. That probably not. Well, maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow, because at least then because I can't really click and stuff like that. But maybe at the very end of the stream we'll watch this video. It's 10 minutes. It was like 10 minutes, then sure. Yes. Sure. We'll do it tomorrow. After we're done playing Destiny quite a bit. Ruby was never good in terms of... That's true. Well, actually, I thought the combat was decent. I just don't think like the one-to-one motion is very good for Ruby. But ladies and gentlemen... Oh, it's 5 minutes? Okay, yeah. Fuck, we'll burn through that tomorrow then. Okay. Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, I thought I mentioned this because I did not know... usually I'm plugged into like gaming, news, and journalism stuff, but I was not plugged in enough apparently. Because yes, it's Sunday stream tomorrow. We'll watch that. But anyways, what do you call it? You guys were asking me a bunch of stuff about Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and I was kind of just like, I mean, to me, the thing I didn't really like was that I like the same thing that happened in Syndicate, where like I can't play the character I want to play, like the look of, etc., that has the same style of gameplay that I like. So like I would love playing the dude, the Ronin dude, and then also being instead of being a Ronin dude, being a stealthy dude. I wouldn't mind playing the same character, but I just want to play a stealthy version of that character. I hate that I have to play like the tiny, fragile, thin woman. And that was the thing that I always found charming about Ezio, was that he was like a man, but instead of being like big, bulky, strong muscle man, instead he was like a thin, lean dude who was all about like redirecting momentum and like fucking shit up that way, which to me is like the essence of an assassin, of like skill over size. And that to me was always like awesome. So to me it's a little bit annoying where they keep diverting both of these playstyles together. But what do you call it? What I said was like, hey, I wish I could also play the way I look. Like that was something that I wanted. I did not know there was so many like racial undertones within this whole debate that I didn't mean to like put my foot in the ring of. So I just wanted to come clean and be like, the arguments I've seen for Assassin's Creed don't make the most sense. Like people saying that like realism in Assassin's Creed, like what do you call it? This is weird. This guy was not a samurai. That I also think it's unfair for people to say that like it's insane that you're looking at Assassin's Creed for historical realism, because Assassin's Creed does do some things really historically accurate. Like the layout of the city is usually really inspired by what was actually present in the game. So it's not unreasonable for people to have a semi-lean towards realism being being historic accuracy being some thing that's baked into the baseline of that. But what is unarguable is that Assassin's Creed has always taken a fucking absurd amount of liberties in the story of the characters that they choose. Fucking, like, Thomas Edison's out here using demon apples and shit. Like, that's weird. That's you have no ground to stand on with that one. That one's just dumb. But yeah, to me, outside of that, everything else to me is pretty irrelevant. Like, it's cool. It's Japan. It's fun. Or China, whatever it is. To me, I don't know. It seems really like I just hope the game is good. We know nothing about the gameplay, so I have no feelings about it. Like, I don't know if it's going to be like a true to form Assassin's Creed where it's stealthy. Maybe if it's a return to these truly stealthy gameplay with like minimal HUD, like Assassin's Creed was, then maybe I'll have to play the Ninja Girl. But I would like to play the one dude because the fucking big Ronin dude is awesome. I do hope I can change his hairstyle because I don't love his hairstyle. It's too much. I would like it to be more lean. But other than that, I'm in. But yeah, to me, it's one of those weird things where it's like everyone has such a big opinion when we have not even seen the game yet. Like, we don't even know what it is. Besides maybe like negative things, because we're all kind of sick of Assassin's Creed stuff at this point. But yeah. But apparently they've been working on this for a long time. The gameplay stuff that I have heard is that there's like changing seasons, but that really has always been kind of meaningless to me. Like, the only game that made me care about changing seasons is Bully. Like OG Rockstar Bully, where like there was classes associated with that, and then there was like the slipperiness of the road accounted for stuff like that. And it just felt like you were actually like getting older as you were moving through your school life. I don't know how this game is going to make me feel that way necessarily, you know. So that's the only thing that I've really paid attention to. I also, again, my main criticism with it, if I did have any, is the fact that I don't love that I have to play a character and then play in a very specific way. I want to be able to look how I want to look. In this case, I'd be fine with choosing the dude, and then I want to be able to play the assassin-y type as the dude. And instead, we don't get that. I get there's some story implications that kind of sound interesting, like a big fucking heavyset black dude arrives in Japan, and like a fucking Ronin guy or the leader of a clan is like, "That's a big ass boy." That's a big ass boy. Hey, do you want to swing a samurai sword, brother? come over here, please. God damn, you can eat 2 men. That's crazy. I think that is pretty fire. That's pretty cool. I get that perception. Fluff says it's stupid to compete about how inaccurate Yakuza is. Whether was the special samurai, it was retirees, so especially wise. I lost some of the message. Sorry, Fluff. Fluff says, I just want you want co-op in the game. Yeah, I get that. That makes sense for co-op stuff. I feel like it's high time. But apparently that's going to be a Ubisoft's next game. I'm not sure if it's co-op so much as multiplayer. People are saying multiplayer is their next game, but who knows? Same wish had for Syndicate. Yeah, to be able to play co-op. Yeah, it seems a little stupid. That seems like a dropping of the ball. I don't like being somewhat restricted to Brawler for Jacob. And so, yeah, same thing with me. Yeah. I wish I could pick whoever I wanted to play. And I don't think it'd be impossible to choose armor types based on the way you want to play. Like, I remember playing Assassin's Creed as a non-brawler. Like, I played Jacob as an assassin just because I wanted to play him. And then you can kind of do it, kind of. But this is mostly because I just could not stand Eve's hypocrisy and Eve's personality. I remember you telling me. I think it was you at the time. Tell me about it. Yeah. Fluff says, I also prefer playing the male character when given the choice, and if not given a choice, I'd like to personalize the game. Yeah, exactly. It's like, to me, that's one of the weird things where, like, I do think there's a somewhat of an argument for that. Like, I heard a lot of people saying that, like, representation is good in this instance, which by the way, I don't completely disagree with. I kind of understand the idea of, like, if I had a son that was in any kind of whatever the wife would be that made him that nationality or whatever it would be great for them to have, like, to be able to see someone to do that. But I also would argue that, I don't know, to me, I'd also just try to convince my son or daughter just try to get as much value out of anybody that you possibly can, you know, regardless of what they may look like and things like that. But to me, the one thing that always weirds me out about that kind of whole perception is that, but like, when you're making a video game, you're also creating something for an audience, and that audience is everybody. Like, and frankly, if you look at the actual audience numbers, I bet if you were like to ratio it based on like race and stuff like that, I feel like it'd lean a certain kind of way. So to me, it makes sense. It just, like, it makes a business sense as well as a moral sense, just to be like, hey, why don't I try to make a system that is basically so anybody can have the experience that they want. I.e., we'll get a voice actor, we'll get a female voice actor, we'll get just like Saints Row does, like every other game does. You can customize your character with however you like, and then based on, you can make them look however you want, you can make them look exactly like you, and then that version of you is going to go through this story in this world. They're going to experience that world through the setup and the lens that we give them. Like, to me, that I think is a little bit more reasonable as far as, like, you get to experience that world because you are the customer. Yeah. And it's weird because these developers make a very specialized story for a specific group of people, which is totally fine. But then why are you surprised when the game doesn't sell well? Because it's specifically targeting a specific type of person with a specific type of backstory and such, you know? It's like, yeah, that to me is a strange perspective. A strange approach, I guess I should say. I also just prefer playing the male. Bring back AC Brotherhood multiplayer as a stand. Yeah, man, yeah. That's I think what the idea is for doing the multiplayer Assassin's Creed game. I think they're just trying to make it bigger, but I don't know how they're going to make that bigger. Like, I think people just like the tightness of the Assassin's Creed Brotherhood kind of multiplayer. Lodi says, waifu character only for me. Yeah, 100%. People love playing the woman character too. Fire off, 100%. In whatever way you want. My biggest thing is I just don't like feeling like I'm like, fuck, man. I wanted to play this thing, but now I wanted to play this way, but now I can't play that way, you know? And it's based on the character and the way they look, you know? Like, why the hell can't a person be silent as individual person? Big boy, little boy, etc. Tall-ass fucker, thin-ass man, whatever it is. Tall-ass lady, big-ass lady, whatever. I would like to be able to look however I want and then to adjust stuff to it. You know, maybe you have, like, that's why, like, Dragon's Dogma was actually really neat, is because it didn't shoehorn you out of a way of playstyle. It just kind of gave you an innate advantage in some way. Lord says, you have to see Atris talking about AC Shadow. Yeah, maybe. I haven't seen that video yet, if that is video yet. Fluff says, and let us play the multiplayer protag and yeah. Lord says, the next AC game is yeah. Well, I did see that AC is trying to move into like this like collective chunk essentially of being able to go into stuff. Like it's your first mistake was thinking that putting an option online wouldn't have consequences because it's extra cost that companies don't want to put in. Your first mistake was thinking that putting an option online wouldn't have. What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh, I do know that's an issue that some people are talking about, which generally seems like a huge issue, which is after Ubisoft closed the crew, everyone's like, do not make this game online only. Like, I'm not going to pay for it because it's going to go away in a couple of weeks. It's stupid. Or a couple of years. It's stupid. You have to see. Also, the next AC game is Hex. Hex. Oh, right, Hex. No, Hex is the Witcher. I can't think of it what it's called, but it's like that kind of a nomad. I don't know why, but I always think of like the fucking. It's fucked up because I'm Native American, but it's like a subculture of that. It's not quite Native American, but it's like a version of that. AC Odyssey and Valhalla already let you make your choice of male and female protagonists. Yeah. But I don't know why that was. Why they stopped doing that. I don't think people were like, I hate this. But they also declared that Cassandra and Eivor Vanderhoff were the canon. Yes, that's fine. That's totally fine. I'm fine with that being the canon thing. It doesn't matter to me. As long as I get to experience like the character in the way that I want to experience the thing, it would be cool. Which I have no problem. Yeah, I have no problem with either. I have a choice to yeah, 100%. Lord says, I agree they need to bring back the style like Brotherhood. Yeah, man. My idea would be Brotherhood and Unity. Unity's movement system and Brotherhood's depth of gameplay. And I also, to me, man, this is my own like really weird fetish, but I always thought Syndicate would have made the perfect game to introduce degradation within weapons. So they've talked about how Syndicate, you can only carry like smaller weapons because you're in London and people would notice you carrying around a fucking battle axe. So you can only you had to use like tiny daggers or machetes that you could hide within your pocket or something like that, your jacket. So to me, I always thought that'd be the perfect thing. And the thing I miss so badly about Assassin's Creed, I'm not sure if you guys played this way when you were playing Brotherhood, but I used to always play unarmed. Because unarmed, you could basically you could parry, yoink the enemy's weapon, and then I think you could only get like 5 hits with the enemy's weapon before you nuked them. Or it was something like you could pick up their the battle axe and then fucking cleave it into someone's body, and then you completely kill the battle axe. You couldn't reclaim it, but you would instantly kill whoever you're at. So I always thought it'd be such a fun mechanic in Assassin's Creed, especially if you're the leader of the Assassin's Guild. And you're building up this organization, it would make sense that you could go do a quest and basically get a high. If you level up your assassin blacksmith, he could increase the rate in which you could get higher quality weapons and order them from him. So you would go back to your guild. You'd basically say, "Hey, I want 2 machetes." He'd say, "Great, 2 machetes are now on cooldown." You'll have to wait maybe a day before you can come back and get better machetes. So then you would grab your machetes. You'd have 2 really fucking good machetes if you leveled them up, but then you'd still have to go out and like grab other people's weapons, embed them into another person's head as you're like slashing someone with like a machete or a knife or a sword. It could shatter, it could break. Maybe there'd be a play style that the assassins formed, which is basically you just like fully committing a strike into someone's chest, shattering the sword, or stabbing, or taking a lot of damage for your sword, breaking it off into somebody. And that to me would make sense for like the adaptation and the adaptability of what assassins are, which is like these mass tool set understanding people who can pick up anything and fucking be deadly with it. But also there being a limit to that. And to me, that way they could bring back the parry system and actually make it awesome, and make it meaningful again. Sorry. Also, one thing that I always really wanted, man, I always really loved that in like Splinter Cell, there were like environmental things around you where you could get like glory kills. And I always preferred Assassin's Creed being more like grounded, more like God of War, like the God of War, the new ones, where it's like over the shoulder, it's slowly paced, it's much more methodical. It's not like the camera gets pulled back and you're swarmed by 7 enemies and then you're like slashing an enemy like this, and you're slashing an enemy like this, then you're kicking another enemy, you're doing a roll to dodge from the unblockable attack. Like that's just way too much shit going on. It's not even more difficult, it's just like there's more shit going on. So to me, I always preferred that way, and I always wish that they did that, to where like again, you're building up your assassin's organization. You have the ability to like completely use up these blades and weapons, and they break down. You maybe always have your and I would even like it if your hidden blades had like a damage if you started to actually fight with them. But it would improve like the countering and like grabbing your enemy's weapon and using it against them and stuff like that. Do you guys remember back in Brotherhood when they fucking let you like stab an enemy in the throat, and then you would use Da Vinci's fucking like hand pistol gauntlet, and you would just fucking like blow someone's head off from the side, and it was just so fucking good. It's funny because I remember people being like, I'm sick of this, but now, dude, I have hunger for that counter system so much. I don't care if it's simple. To me, the alternative has become boring, which is crazy because technically there's more going on. In Syndicate, I used my brass knuckles were fucking sick, and my pipe cane, and your fire, you just fucking go on a tear. To me, Syndicate would have been the best opportunity to introduce that degradation of weapons system, because you would always basically just like steal the other gangsters' weapons and use it against them, and then maybe even like store some, so you had like 4 pockets that you could store some of their weapons in, and you could have like a really high quality dagger on your left, and you could grab it and chuck it if it was crap, or you could like grab it and throw it if you just wanted to kind of like pick up something else, and again, you being able to like grab an enemy and smashing them into a wall, like more grounded one-to-one kind of fighting, rather than just being like this onslaught of like thousands of enemies rushing at you and you're just chipping away at their health bar for 10 minutes, you know. They already monetized the AC games to hell and back, that no problem maintain the online game if they sell well and has actively player. Yeah, it's true. I just wish I could keep, like, again, it's sad to me that, like, I liked Valhalla quite a bit. I didn't hate it. I thought it was fine. And I would have liked to go back to it. Like, it'd be cool to experience just, like, the Norse, not Norse, but, like, the Viking era stuff. So to me, if one day, like, when I'm old and gray, and then that's just dead, like, I can never go back and play it, that sucks. That's, like, brutal. Bolty says, after BSG pulled off such an incredible stupid stunt that is still ongoing, I don't have trust in any. Yeah, I'm in the same place, Red. I'm in like a real lack of faith in the gaming industry very much. The only thing I have a slightly faith in is just the VR games, just because they're so unique to me, at least. But otherwise, I'd be pretty gloomy right now. Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad place. Like, again, there's games like Destiny that I'm having a field day with. I imagine eventually we'll catch up on all the content, and I'll be like a little bit like, okay, now I'm kind of bored. But we have Withering Waves, which at least I can accept. Like, at least, I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's like I'm turning into like the cynic where like it's the devil you know at the very least. So at least it's less shit, you know? I don't know. Bolty says, and after did I pull that? Fluff says, honestly, they shut down the crew because it didn't have anywhere near as active of players as For Honor, especially Rainbow Six Siege. No, I know that. To me, it was never about like why they shut it down. To me, the problem was the same reason why they shut down Redfall. I paid money for something. Like, this is the thing that people are like, you don't actually own your games, and yet you're paying a fuck ton for them. But that's the thing that kills me. It's like, oh, I would have been fine with you turning off the servers, but what I'm not fine with is you not like giving someone the ability to host some form of your game. Especially in like, maybe in the crew's case, it's a little bit different because it's such a massive world, and I don't know if there's any one computer that could like host that world, although maybe, because people have really big Minecraft servers and shit, so I don't think it's impossible. But anyways, for a game like Redfall, to me that's a big kick in the dick, because there's no reason for you not to basically make that a contained game that if, like, in a couple years people could play this like cursed and broken game, even if that is the case, and you can still make some dollars on it. Like, you can still make money on selling this broke, goofy game. And yeah, it's just, that sucks. That sucks. Anime Fan says, when you are going back to Warframe, by the way. Ooh, Anime Fan, I'm balls deep in Destiny, and I'm so goddamn lost. So I don't know if I can handle another game yet. Probably, I always go back to Warframe at some point. So I wouldn't say it's not happening for sure, but to me, it's been a minute. And it's also, I just don't know when there's no right time ever to get in any of these games, because there's just so much depth to them. Like, I think you just got to start, but also I'm kind of like in the middle of Destiny right now, and I have a lot to do, so I kind of am happy. And also there's Withering Waves coming out next week, so I'm going to be busy in that way, and I still want to keep doing VR content, so I'm even busier in that. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is probably where we're going to wind down. I'm off to go upload a video, maybe, probably, yes. Not sure if he'll be I'm not sure if he'll be your guys' cup of tea, because it is very VR community centered, but hey, if you want to check that out, maybe. If not, then don't, because please don't subscribe to the channel that you're not going to watch anything from for. But yeah, and then I'm probably going to try to make a dent in that the fucking strand grind, man, is killing me. I've dedicated like 4 hours to that, and I'm only like halfway. I think I just need to like hard focus public events, which I haven't been exactly doing. I've been doing a lot of patrols, but just not public events. But I think public events might be the ticket, but whew, fuck, it takes a long time. But yes. And that's where Wayfinders is doing something that is rarely done otherwise. Wayfinders failed as a live service game. DE pulled support for it. And Airship Syndicate cannot refund playing that bought things like the Founders Edition, because it's money they don't have. So instead of shutting it down, they're reworking the game to be an offline with optional co-op options akin to Remnant 2, and it's amazing. That's exactly the right call. Again, to me, I cannot describe to you guys how much bad will Xbox has given me with the fact that like Phil Spencer said like, oh, we're gonna stick with Redfall, we're gonna see it through, and only to completely and utterly fucking leave it behind, you know. The companies don't want to put in, zoom in, you can't read it. Well, it's so far away and I need to read both chats. Your first mistake was thinking that putting an option online, putting an opinion online. That's not even about zoomed in, Nub. It's about my dyslexia. My brain, as soon as it sees OPI, it sees a option, not opinion. My brain just says, no, it's opinion. No, it's opinion. I'll go back and read it 40 times, and I'm like, no. And my brain will have to sit there and be like, no, that's not option. Opinion. Your first mistake, thinking that putting an opinion online would have consequences, because it costs extra. The company doesn't want to put in, zoom in. You can't recite. It's not about a zoom in. I could zoom in like right to my face, and it's my brain that will just say, move along, move along. So instead of just shutting down the reworking thing, yeah, no, that sounds amazing. But, ladies and gentlemen, I'm off. Thank you so much for your time. I'll probably play some Destiny today. I don't think it'll be anything too crazy. I think I'll wait to play the Shadow Queen with you guys tomorrow. I might make a dent in the damn Brave questline shittery, because damn, that's just such a massive thing. But, ladies and gentlemen, again, if you're into, yeah. the VR stuff, check that video I'm about to upload. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. Appreciate you so much. Lone, thank you for updating me on everything Withering Wave. Thank you so much, Ray, for popping in. Thank you so much, Anime Fam, for just hanging out and talking my ear off. Appreciate you so much. Fluff, appreciate you telling me everything and anything about goddamn Destiny 2. Lord, thank you for being there, cooking food and telling me about it. Nub, thank you for trying to torture me daily. And Bunty popped in here. Hopefully you're getting after working out. And Red. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in the beginning, Red. Thank you so much. That's it. Goodbye, guys.